understand why we do it. They won't understand it's about the men next to you. That's it. That's all it is.
Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, #1 listener-supported radio, the printing press for freedom at a time when freedom is needed the most.
Join me at Revolution Radio, Studio B, at 11 a.m. on Saturday for Free Association, when we take a look at philosophy, spirituality, psychology, social issues, and geopolitics. It's every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern on Studio B at freedomslips.com.
What is going on here? I demand an explanation.
We work for a highly funded yet unofficial government agency.
An intelligence organization that fears intelligence, historically not awesome.
The United States is a democratic nation. Here the people rule. We build no walls to keep them in, nor organize any system of police to keep them mute.
Freedom isn't free at all, but it comes with the highest of costs.
We have you, the listeners, and the hosts at
Revolution Radio
for allowing us to bring you a platform of free speech.
Right now, it's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines,
clock's run out. Time's up. Wind is blowing cold and dark. On the road and no way out. Broken house, the smoking gun. On the run. On the run.
We're hot.
Ladies and gentlemen, live from the broken down, low rent, sleazy, double greasy pirate radio Nut Hut Studios, it's time for the very first ever Southern.
It's Friday night.
Right.
Friday.
Somehow, some way you found it. We appreciate you spending your borrowed time with us. My name's Jimmy, and Into the Microcosm is on the air.
Into the microcosm.
Out here shivering like a chihuahua. Turn off your speaker, Bruce. Rock and Rio. Have you materialized?
I am present.
You're like the Chachi of the independent media. Remember Chachi?
Chachi.
I hated Chachi.
That's Joni's boyfriend.
Joni's boyfriend. I mean, I couldn't say. I mean, I don't know personally. But there's rumors that dude has a giant.
I've been played for a fool.
Member. That's the rumor around Hollywood, but I don't know. You have to ask Pauly Shore. I haven't seen him since the Venice days, so. But he's making the rounds again. Ow, buddy.
He's in Vegas.
Is he in Vegas? Does he got, what is that called when you're in Vegas and you just sit there? You get too old to do anything. You just want to come to one place and do the thing, go back home. What's that called? It's called something. Sure. What's it called, Rio? What's it called when bands go and stay in Vegas? It's got a name for it. I don't know what it's called. Who gives a shit? Doesn't
residency.
Matter. A residency, yeah, a residency. It's like a condo.
Yeah,
it's the condo.
Set you up. You do like 2 months straight, like 7 nights a week.
Yeah. Wow.
3 shows a day.
Well, it's a never-ending story in Vegas.
And you get all the smorgasbord buffet you can eat.
There goes the gang of fours here. Excellent. Well, listen, you know what I've noticed? I don't know if you guys have noticed I know, Bruce, you probably haven't noticed it. Because you're in a world all unto yourself. But what I've been noticing here where I live is that there's an intense gathering every day at the liquor store. When I try to go in there and buy a pack of smokes, there's like 30 people standing there buying lottery tickets, and every single day, and I go in there and I stand there and I think to myself, I wonder if I added up all the minutes that I've stood behind losers buying lottery tickets, how much that time that would add up to at the end, you know? Because I gotta say, the lines be getting longer and longer, so people seem to be wanting to win money. You know what I mean? That tells me there's something wrong in America, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, everybody wants to win.
Yeah, well, you can't win.
Everybody wants the cheddar.
Dude, you can't win if you don't play. That's the thing.
You got to be in it to win it.
That's right. And if it's all about the money, and if you're not in it to win it, then you might as well go get your shine box, Bruce. Who's that knocking on our door?
What'd you say to me?
I said, go get your shine box. No, but who's knocking on the door now? Somebody's ringing our bell.
Maybe you haven't heard, Jimmy. I don't shine shoes no more.
Well, they didn't come up here to the pen and tell me. I just
been away for a long time, Jimmy.
I have been.
I'm just saying, I don't shine shoes no more, Jimmy.
I know, but you used to make my shoes look like mirrors. This kid used to make them look like mirrors. Hey, go get your shine box, Bruce. Who's ringing the bell over there? Who's Skyping us? I can't tell. This epic journeyman's on a special assignment. That's why we came in with such a juxtaposition of heavy music. Oh, there it is. Chicago Brew popped in. The Showcase. Las Vegas Standard. So, but I've been noticing, like I said, there's an uptick in people praying for a miracle down at the liquor store. And I mean, I think it's, across the board, people are praying for a miracle because I don't see where these, I see the landscape, and basically there's a few things that I see. The first thing that I see is this overturning of Roe versus Wade issue. And I see this to be an issue to push during the 2024 election. That these Democratic candidates are all going to start saying that they're going to go and that's going to be their number one thing, and so on and so forth, to gather support politically for that issue specifically, because there's a lot of people that are going to vote specifically for that one thing. That's what I see coming. At this point, there was a CNN poll. So, it's someone leaning, liberal. Say that 59% of the people polled say they will not vote for Joe Biden in 2024. There's a lot of stuff flying around. So, there's going to have to be another person to run up the flagpole and see who salutes, or see what's under their dress, or however you want to look at it. But I still stand by my original projection of Michelle Obama being the candidate in 2024 for the Democratic Party. But I'll tell you what I saw this week, and it was kind of funny because Rio. Now you saw the video, right, of this whole Tucker Carlson thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so let's bring it up. So, did you know someone brought up Tucker Carlson to Donald Trump as vice president, Bruce?
Hijacker, I believe.
No, and this is today for real. Someone brought it up to Trump. Go ahead.
Within the last couple of days, someone suggested that he take Tucker Carlson as his vice president. He said he'd consider it.
Now, see, Bruce knows that the hijacker said that like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
So it's just funny that, I'm surprised the hijacker's not out there ringing bells everywhere and banging pots together, celebrating his thoughtful projection of this idea of Tucker Carlson for VP. So what did Trump say about it?
He said he'd consider it. That's as much of the news of that as I had actually heard.
That's interesting. We see. Is there a clip? Is there an audio?
I don't know. I could take a look.
Yeah, we should see if there's an audio clip of that. That's interesting. What was interesting today is I didn't realize, and I didn't think about it too much, because 2020 seems like such a long time ago. I mean, we've all gone down such a far road since back in 2020 or even 2019. We've all changed so much since then. I can say without a doubt, I am not the same person I was in 2019 today. That I am a changed person through what's happened over the last 3 years or so. So my overall concept of the way things are and how I look out at the world and what I think has been completely altered. The fabric of reality has been distorted to the point of not being able to see clearly into the future or project yourself into the future, because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
Yeah, so it's never been more than one day at a time, but you used to be able to sit back and dream, hey, someday I'm going to get on a plane, I'm going to fly someplace, I'm going to be sitting on this hammock under that palm tree, drinking my little boat drinks or whatever. You know what I mean? With my little umbrella in there. I'm going to retire and things are going to be mellow and I'm going to have a happy time and everything's going to be cool and everything's going to be good. That's what we thought. And I mean, honestly, I don't even know if it's something that's just happened and now we got to live with it, or it's always been the reality and we just were never aware of it before. That there really is no time when you're going to be able to go kick back. Literally every minute of every single day here on Earth seems like we're in some sort of a open air debtors prison from the time we're born. I mean, if you look at it from this original sin standpoint, in other words, I'm born in here. I didn't do anything, but I need forgiveness because of the original sin. The original sin, you know what I mean? So, I mean, it's an open air prison. And you know what? Listen, here's the thing. First of all, you got to pay the tax. You got to pay the tax. You got to pay your way through the prison. In other words, you can't just sit around here in the prison and not do anything. You need to work. So you need to apply your, they've figured out how to get their nut out of every single person. So they add up all the people together and figure out how much that nut is every day that they got to make or every year that they got to make. And then that's how much they extract out of your hind end to keep that going. And then anything else extra beyond what the government gives you, anything else extra, that's up to you to hustle it up and make it happen for yourself. However you want to make that happen. They don't give a shit what you do as long as you make money so that you can be, extracted from. That's all that matters.
So there's so many anomalies now, though. Like, I don't understand how these housing prices are staying so high. The demand isn't that outrageous anymore. I just don't understand it. There's not all kinds of foreign money coming in. It's not like Chinese and Arabs are buying it all up. I don't understand it. Nothing, and I was raised by an economist. I understand economics, and nothing about this market makes any sense, Jimmy. It's pure voodoo at this point. As George Bush said in 1990, voodoo economics.
Well, let me ask you a question, man, now that you bring it up, because I saw this earlier today, that Moody's has degraded America's credit rating to negative. So that doesn't sound good, but I don't know what does that mean exactly.
No.
Well, they can't borrow. I saw that they weren't able. They were selling something, trying to raise money to borrow some money, and they couldn't do it. So what does it exactly mean for us laymen about the Moody's credit rating, Bruce? What does that exactly mean when they say we're negative? Our credit's no good? What does that mean? People aren't betting. Yeah. People aren't.
Yeah, basically your credit's no good. I'd be surprised if it was like flat out negative now, because
we'll go take a look at it.
It's been AAA most of the time.
Yeah, we'll go take a look at it. It's been downgraded recently, and now it's been downgraded again to negative. So I mean, I don't know if you
see, but I don't know. The only countries on the planet now that would have really good credit are the ones with really high stocks of literally liquid resource like oil. So Saudi Arabia wouldn't have a credit problem.
Right.
Dubai, United Arab Emirates.
Is what makes America's a good investment is the future of America. So, but people are not buying the future of America anymore. It's not an investment. It's not a good place to put your money. Park it there and keep it there, right? You don't want to be too invested. So it seems like there's a serious divestment of American money systems. People seem to be moving away. The bonds reached I think it was like 4.9 today or yesterday. They're saying what's going to happen is that in order to reverse everything that's going on with this inflation, beginning part of 2024, that the Fed is going to start reversing all the action that they've been taking with these interest rate raisings. They're going to start lowering the interest rates and reverse the action that they started with trying to start this and control inflation situation. So it'll start to make the economy and people's things start to be good, so they won't be so pissed off going in the voting booth. But anyhow, That's what's been going on recently as far as that is concerned. Financially, it doesn't look good for a lot of reasons. And, there were ACH payments that didn't get made last Friday. Some of them still haven't been reconciled. There's a lot of weird shit going on just globally.
Yeah.
So it's a matter. It's like we were saying earlier. It's a crapshoot. The last 3 years have taught anybody anything. It's one day at a time. You don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. And if you're not, I don't know. It's just at any given. I just always think about this photograph that we had when that Puerto Rican hurricane happened. And it was these people standing there with their phones in their hands, raising their hands as high as they could get it to try to get a bar so they could get some signal, And the thing about it is that it all comes crumbling down the minute shit doesn't work. So everyone takes for granted the fact that we can just call each other and, talk to each other. You're there in Costa Rica and I'm over here and, we take all this shit for granted, but just a simple, flick of the switch and all of a sudden, we're living not being able to communicate anymore. And that's an interesting concept to be in.
I wonder.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Bruce McDonald.
I wonder if they ever came up with a number. Yeah. If they ever came up with a number, like how much money they would lose daily if the internet went down globally. It's got to be enormous, right? The vulnerability in this system is mind-boggling. Although I don't know, how vulnerable it is now. Oh, by the way, word's out on the street here in Costa Rica. So Starlink is starting its installations, right? Q4 now. Right now, I could get a call any day. Am I ready to go? And yes, sir. And the truck comes up my mountain road with my gear. So I'm looking forward to that, man. Holy cow, get off this friggin' mouse wheel internet I've been on for 4 or 5 years. It's bloody ridiculous.
It'd be funnier than shit if Elon Musk made an AI recording of himself. So it sounded like he was calling you, and you get a call, and it's like, hey, Bruce, yeah, this is Elon. I just want to let you know your Starlink's about to be hooked up. Your truck's coming up the road right now. All right, well, have a good day. Elon Musk. There he goes, ladies and gentlemen. Rock and Rio, what the hell? What's going on the East Coast? Is it falling literally off into the wild blue yonder? I heard there's nothing but Venezuelan hookers giving blowjobs for $40. The mayor was pissed, so I don't know. What's going on there?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know anything about the Venezuelan hookers.
Oh, I thought you were up on the Venezuelan community.
No, I don't.
Oh, it's the Brazilians. You're in with the Brazilians, that's right. Not the Venezuelans. Well, I don't know. It seems like a cesspit. Is it? Yes or no? Would you consider the Big Apple rotten at this point?
It seems to be pretty rotten, yeah. And Mayor Adams is doing a terrible job.
Hey, man, did you know there's a chain on the foot of the Statue of Liberty?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, me neither.
Did someone put it there?
No, there's an actual chain, giant.
Oh, it's like part of the
It's part of the Statue of Liberty, right? That's because
I never noticed that.
Me neither. And it's funny? Is there's a big difference between freedom and liberty. Liberty is granted. You're born free. The captain of the boat says you can go ashore, but you got to come back when he says, or else you're AWOL. You know what I mean? It's the statue.
Yeah, that's called giving liberties, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Give somebody a free pass.
Mm-hmm. That's what it is. When people say, yeah, man, give me my liberty. Well, you know what, man? Give me my freedom. It used to be the land of the free, home of the brave. Now it's land of the fee, home of the slave, Bruce. So it's lucky you're not over here slaving away to the grind and the debt prison, grinding it out day in, day out. What do they say? The wheels of the government grind slow and fine. Because they never stop. Day and night, 24 hours a day. The wheel is always crushing that grain, Bruce. Real. We're nothing more than... How does the grain rage against the machine, Bruce? The wheels are grinding slow and fine. How could the corn rage against that wheel? Rock and radio. Is it possible to rage against the machine?
Oh, you could. I don't know how far you get, but you could.
You're getting nowhere.
Our projections show that by the year 2025, not only America, but the entire planet will be under the protection and the dominion of this power alliance. The gains have been substantial, both for ourselves and for you, the human power elite. You have given us entree to the resources we need in our ongoing quest for multidimensional expansion. And in return, the per capita income of each of you here tonight has grown, and this year alone, by an average 39%.
Isn't it lovely, darling?
And I've just received word that our forces have won a major victory. The underground terrorist network has been destroyed here on the West Coast. We are off crisis alert. The situation is normal again.
The situation is normal again. There's a scene from the 1988 documentary, They Live. So, profits are up, Rock and Rio, 39%. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it funny how in that movie it was high inflation? People were living in dirt lots. Did you guys see?
There's so many parallels in that movie to what's going on now. It's unbelievable.
I know. Did you guys see that Donald Trump was recommending that you take care of the homeless problem by establishing camps and putting people in camps along with reopening the psych wards that Reagan closed?
Oh no, I didn't see it about the psych wards.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard about the camp part, but
yeah, well, he thinks it's a good idea. You know, camps. I don't know.
Could be a good idea.
Did we not say that?
Mm-hmm.
What was it, a year ago?
Something like that.
A year ago we said, look, people aren't going to be homeless in the future because they can't have it. You're going to put people in camps and boom, that's what's going to happen. Those white tents. You know what I mean?
City.
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to be too bad though. They'll have movies on Saturday nights.
Yeah, it'll get a little nasty in another couple of weeks though, when it starts getting cold out there.
Well, that's what I mean. Why are you gonna live out there where it's awful and horrible when you can come over here in the white tent? Just watch out for that dog. Down, boy. Down. He don't like homeless people for some reason. He doesn't trust them. Down, boy. Down, boy. Rock and Rio said, I mean, do you think it's right that you think they should house the homeless this way? I mean, what do you do then? Make them go to work at that point? You know, you got time.
That depends on which homeless you're talking about.
You got time to lean. You got time to clean.
If there's if you're talking about those who are, you know, veterans and American citizens, then yeah, you should probably supply something for them or help them out a little bit. Talking about those who snuck across illegally, send them back. Don't put them up. Get rid of them.
Reminds me of that movie.
That's my opinion.
Reminds me of that movie with Al Pacino where he's living in that. He's a Cuban refugee. He's living in this camp behind the fence. Wasn't that Scarface?
Who said that?
Al Pacino. He was a Cuban.
I don't remember which one it was.
Was that not the plot of Scarface?
Think so.
Didn't he come over and he was living in that refugee camp in Florida? Then he gets out and becomes a kingpin. You know, take a look at my little friend or whatever it is.
Take a look at my little friend.
Might not be the same movie. I might be juxtaposing some movies. Hey, Doug, what's happening? It's good to see you. Epic Journeyman's over there. He's 20 feet underground. He's texting in from being 20 feet underground.
Is he?
Yeah. He really is the Epic Journeyman, isn't he?
He's spelunking as we speak, right?
Yes. It's Revolution Radio. It's the Independent Broadcast Network. It's freeworld.fm. It's the end of the microcosm of Friday night. Every Friday night right here at midnight Eastern. So it's 11:11 already on the East Coast. So what's up with the 11:11 on the East Coast? Anything happening so far, Rock and Rio? Or is there any negativity? Is today the day of martyrdom that's been declared?
Honestly, I don't know.
I think
I haven't seen anything or heard anything out of the ordinary today.
Well, if someone's going to be afraid of random acts of violence, the day of what's that? I'm just saying these.
Yeah, he was originally.
I think that's just Bruce bleeding through.
Bruce is breaking up. You're breaking up, Bruce.
It's funny because his microphone is muted, so we shouldn't be hearing him.
Ah, so maybe he's doing some other show at the same time. He's double dealing us, man. He's cheating on us.
He's probably got cell phone interference cutting into his computer.
I don't know. Anyway, now I forgot what I was saying. Remind me before it's too late. I'll go off into the weeds.
I think you already did. I think that's where you're heading.
What life is really worth? Is that all that glitters is gold? And that story had never been told. So now you see the light. Hey, you stand up for your right. Because in the midnight hour, stand up for your right. Yeah, with a rebel yell. Don't give up the fight. Don't give it up. In the midnight hour, stand up for your right. Stand up with a rebel yell. Don't give up the fight. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's Bob Marley and Billy Idol. Tell you right now, man, that could be a hit. We're the hit
I love
makers.
those mashups.
Sweating to the oldies on Into the Microcosm on a Friday night. So listen, 11:11. Some people say it's the sign of Satan. Some people say when you see it all the time, there's some negativity going to happen. Other people say it's a magic number. When you see it, it means some good's going to happen. What does it mean? Because people, when they start seeing it, they all of a sudden start seeing it. It's like one time you see a yellow Volkswagen, all of a sudden you start seeing them. You know, when you buy one, all of a sudden they're everywhere. You thought you had the only one, but boom, now all of a sudden you're seeing them everywhere. What is it with the 11:11 Rock and Rio? Do you know? What do you think about it? Have you bumped into this? Someone started you on it like years ago. This thing's been around forever. It's like
I don't know. I don't pay much attention to that kind of stuff.
All right. Well, now when you start looking at your clock and it's 11:11 tomorrow, you better own up to it. You better confess.
Yeah, that just means I'm late for my appointment.
11:11. So what is it, Bruce? 11:11. Does it mean anything to you? What's it mean? Nothing. Bruce is still gone. What happened to Bruce? He's out of here?
Oh, I guess he bailed.
All right. Well, listen. It's me and you, Jack, and that's the way it's always been from the beginning. Epic Journeyman's somewhere out there in the mist.
So, according to the old interwebs over here, it says the meaning of 11:11 is everything is the result of your thoughts and feelings. Because you are using your energy to create a vibration within you that attracts things with the same vibration to you.
Interesting.
That's what it says.
Now, how does it associated with the 11:11? That's what I don't get. What I mean is 11:11. What's 11:11? It's a 4, right? If it was numerology. See.
Yeah.
Or what it is 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So it's a 4. So you should look up numerology and see what a 4 is. A 4 life path. See what that is, and then we'll just see, if it matches up with the, what was that? That was the definition of 1111?
Yeah, there's... Well, 1111 could mean that your guardian angel is here. There's about 30 different websites that all talk about this.
And it's
on
all
the front
different.
page here, and every single one of them has a different explanation.
Well, see, that in and of itself is interesting. All right, well, so tell me about my angel now with the 1111. So when I see
let's see. Where was the angel one here?
So when I see 1111, it means my guardian angel's there?
It's coming here.
Yeah.
The guardian angel corresponding with 1111 is Leah Hayahai or something like that, whose period of influence is between 11 and 12 and 1120. He is the symbol of serenity and luck, and spreads within you the easy energy you need to calm down. You invoke him to improve your practice in meditation. He brings luck to those who need it, and ask him with respect.
Now, see, that's funny. Because you said angel, and immediately what came into my mind was a woman. That's interesting. That kind of reminds me of that riddle about the doctor. I can't operate on this person. It's my son, and and the doctor's a woman. But
you're gonna love this. Okay, so Leah Haya, I guess is how you say it, is the guardian angel of people born between September 8th and September 12th. He has a very feminine energy and represents the 20th degree of Virgo.
Interesting. Well, I fall just out of the category of he being my guardian angel. I was close. But no cigar. And I mean close, there ain't no old timers day for boxers, is there, Rio?
Yeah.
All right, give me another
Even
one.
the angels are gay now.
All right, really?
Well, that's what it says.
Well, maybe they always were.
I don't know.
Maybe
I always thought angels were asexual.
Maybe that's the hermetic principle that everybody's talking about.
That's why they came to Earth to breed, right? Because they couldn't do it as angels.
Isn't it like a representative of the male and female in the same container?
I always thought they were neutral.
I mean, you see these drawings, these old Masonic tablets of hermetic. I mean, I don't know, Rio. I don't know where it comes from.
I don't know either.
But anyway, it continues on in every single aspect. So now the 1111 angel is gay.
Yep.
I wonder if he runs around without a shirt on.
Maybe.
You never know. That's just a callback to last Saturday night if you didn't catch it. The Saturday night behind the velvet rope with Rock and Rio. Every Saturday night, right, at Rock and Rio. Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Anyway,
every Saturday night.
So now, is Bruce back or nay? He's not back.
And no, I don't see him.
No. But see, what the thing was, I played that, we were talking about the They Live, and I played that elite scene. And the reason that I played it is because I got reminded of that scene earlier today when I was looking back at the 2020 Davos World Economic Forum. And Klaus Schwab and all over Donald Trump's member before he introduced him on there, touting all of his achievements in America, what he had done for America, so on and so forth. And then there's a long speechified dissertation about all the great things that Donald Trump did by Donald Trump himself at the World Economic Forum. And then there's a piece where there's a video where he's caught after the World Economic Forum, and him and Klaus Schwab pop out of these doors. He makes a couple statements, and at the very end he goes, "Good job, Klaus. Good. He's a good man. Just good job." They seem to be, and then they walk back between these two white doors, and these two people come up and shut the doors behind them. It's all weird. It looked kind of like a manual door on Star Trek. someone actually had to close the door to make it happen, but it went like and closed right behind him.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird, man. I mean, I don't know.
Well, you know, when you realize too, like Donald Trump is palling around with Klaus Schwab, who might be one of the most evil men on the planet right now. Kind of really makes you wonder what Donald Trump is, where he's at, right? Everybody keeps saying he's going to be the economic savior of this country, but I don't know. I think he's going to lead the country right down the road that we're on.
Well, we'll see.
You know, I think if he comes back, he's here to manage the bankruptcy. That's
well,
what
listen, we're a long ways from 2024, but it seems like the campaign has been going since the last election ended.
Oh yeah,
it's been nonstop. Seriously, it's been literally nonstop at this point. And I gotta say, the video of Donald Trump in 2020, he looks completely different. I mean, he looks like he's got energy left. You know what I mean? Compared to the way he looks now, he looks haggard now compared to when he looked in 2020, and that's just a couple years ago. So you can only imagine, you know, what he's gone through, you know, emotionally since going through all this shit constantly. Or
yeah, well, I mean, they say that job it does age you rather quickly.
Mm-hmm. I think he's the only dude who was president, and that 4 years after he wasn't president, his hair was still, you know, everybody else's hair turns white when they leave the. When they were president and they leave, you see them 4 years later, their hair is white.
I'm sure he dyes it.
No shit, man. I'm just trying to say. It sucks the it sucks the life out of you, man.
Yeah,
it sucks the color right out of your hair. You got to deal with so much, you know. Imagine what it's like. Whatever the bullshit is that you're dealing with, because you're definitely not dealing with the problems of the world that are going on. You know what I mean? You're going to deal with some stuff, but it's not going to have anything to do with the overall mechanisms at work. You know, what people call the deep state. The deep state is all the people that never leave when the administration changes. It's all the people that have been put in jobs and positions. That is the deep state.
Yeah, they've been there for 40 years.
Exactly, and they're not going anywhere. And they know exactly what to do and how to do it and how to move the paperwork and how to make things happen. And if you don't know how to move the paperwork in the government, you're fucking dead in the water, Jack. So, you know, irrespective of that, though, you're going to be a president. You're going to be dealing with a lot of stuff. And even if you were just having to be the guy that has to go out and face the nation and talk about what's going to happen or what's happening or what's potentially going to happen, you know, since we did that show about the draft, you know, I'm starting to hear more and more about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's starting to look like it might become a reality. You know, you might have to go, you know, shed some blood for your country. And I think, you know, the mentality for a lot of people, especially younger people at this point, is they would not go and risk their lives and fight for this country because they don't.
Yeah, I can't imagine anybody in the, you know, 18 to, I guess, 29 crowd being like super soldiers.
Well, they don't believe in what we got going on here.
Yeah, I know.
So, I mean, so that puts us in a position because we have a whole bunch of other people that still believe in the way things used to be. But those things are, you know, not going down that same road anymore. Things are completely different than they were.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, Bruce? I mean...
Yeah, they really flipped us on 2020 and beyond.
I watched an excellent show today, just a YouTube program, and it was on Gen Z.
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing, you know, what's going on in that generation. Their perception of North America is completely different than the baby boomers, and you know, it's like two ends of the same spectrum. It's unbelievable, and I mean, they don't want to work. They don't want to do anything. They're like Italians, you know, or Parisians, you know. No, but it's actually a cycle in a society when it gets so affluent that, you know, you're not going to get ahead working. So you're better off just finding a comfortable position on some kind of little bit of under the table hobby you make money at, or and social assistance, and owning your life and investing in yourself. Then, commuting to some cubicle 5 days a week or 6 days a week. It's not there anymore, man. They gave away the ball. I mean, and it's all been done deliberately.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that now. But let's take this a step further. Let's say, how in the future are you going to be able to have some shit that you just do and make a little bit of money? Like for example, you go to some country and there's this guy walking around selling flutes that he made. You know what I mean? Carved, nice special. To him, it ain't. He sits there, he carves these flutes. It ain't shit. Then he comes and sells them to you for like $2, whatever. You're a tourist. How are you going to do that in the future? I mean, they're going to want to get their piece out of you, like I was saying earlier, in the debtors' prison of the future. How's there going to be a society where you can do this kind of thing, where you can get work and get money in cash without someone knowing how much money you got? Because they got to get their piece.
The cash aspect of it will go away.
Yeah.
The bartering, I think, will still be worth something.
I've given that quite a bit of thought, Jimmy, because every time it's brought up on Into the Microcosm, I just kind of wince. And I don't even know why. It's like an unconscious reaction. And I said, Bruce, you better give this some thought. Why are you so convinced that this CDBC thing is not going to work? And I gave it some thought, and my answer is human innovation. Look, man, you can go to the most... Okay, so, China has all that surveillance stuff now. I guarantee you, if you were to go there and do a KPMG audit of the overall economy, I guarantee you at least 50% is black market. People just figure out a way to get things done, Jimmy. It can be barter. You can create community script, right? You can create a note, a community-backed note. They had them in New York in the early 2000s, spending money in certain communities and stuff like that down on Bleecker Street for the restaurants. They had their own script. There's all kinds of ways you can do it. I
can't see it because the way things are moving. I mean, the European Union just came out and said that you're going to be using a digital ID, and they said, well, digital ID, and then what's the next thing that leads to digital ID? Well, that's CDBC, And so I saw earlier this week Dubai set up a pilot program with Ripple / XRP. And then once that announcement was made, I saw XRP go up like 10%. It was down a little bit today. But I mean, I saw it rise. I mean, that's the thing I don't understand. That's why I should send the bat signal up for Mr. Rowe to come in here and explain to me, because the thing is, if I don't even, honest to God, at this point, I don't even know if the video of Joe Biden saying that America was going to use the XRP, the Ripple, and the XRP ledger to do business with the BRICS nations. So at this point, that could have been some AI-generated bullshit that he didn't even say. But then all of a sudden, I see, here comes Dubai making the same statement. The SEC case was dropped 3 weeks ago or a month ago against them. The thing going on with them and Bank of America. So, I mean, what I don't get is, if that is the case, how come millions of people haven't already jumped on XRP? Why don't I see it raising up out of going through the roof? And and so to me, it makes me think that there's some way or some technicality that if everyone uses that as the ledger, and that somehow they're going to cap that shit at some number and never let it go. In other words, it's worth, once it builds to a certain point, it'll never go beyond that. Otherwise, I mean, people would just keep throwing money at it and it would keep going up like Bitcoin. I don't think that's not going to happen with this. I think this is something completely different. There's some way that this is not going to work out like people think. I mean, I'm not saying it's not going to go up. It will. But I mean, what's it going to be?
Then
go ahead.
You got the weak link in the chain, Jimmy, is human beings. Somebody's going to be entering IDs and correlating them to digital IDs and transfer numbers in the system. Mm-hmm. Throughout history, anybody with a little bit of juice like that has been corruptible. I mean, for any empire, the Ottoman Empire, the Roman Empire, the American Empire, you're going to see a black market of those things emerge, just like there's a black market of passports now, Another reason I don't think this total lockdown is going to happen is the people that operate the most in the dark area, off surveillance, are the governments. It's the CIA, it's the Mossad. There's no way that they're just going to conscript to a system like this. It's like when they brought DNA in. Everybody thought, oh my God, it's a police state and everything. It ended up freeing more people than it did convicting more people, and it showed people that the people hardest hit by DNA analysis were the cops. There were so many people convicted of first-degree murder. That's basically what Barry Scheck specialized in after the OJ trial.
Yeah, but see, what you're saying there is not necessarily correct. Because even though you are correct, sir, on the releasing of the prisoners, but the releasing of the prisoners was only there to get you to emotionally identify with that and allow DNA evidence to become irrefutable. So that the DNA evidence becoming irrefutable is the same as the AI becoming unquestionable. Once I can get you to accept that the AI is never wrong, you won't question it. It's the same way as when you put these people out of prison with the DNA evidence and you accept it, that now I can use it against you at any time I want and say, this is your DNA. I found it here. And you can't question it now, can you? No.
Not without money.
Don't fall for it, ladies and gentlemen. Don't fall for it. It's the bait and switch. And you can find out right about here at the Microcosm Friday Night Special with Bruce McDonald. You can find his books on Amazon. You can find his show, 7 a.m. Pacific, on the Independent Broadcast Network, Monday through Friday. And sometimes his co-host pops in, his sidekick, Chris from the UK. Anyways, don't forget Revolution Radio, fully listener supported. Come on down, become a supporter. Freeworld.fm. What's up, Billy Ray Valentine? And Tony Atterburn, and David Knight, and Charlie Robinson, and so on and so forth. Anyway, it's Friday night. Time to let your hair down. Have yourself a nice cold one. Because let me just say, the people that want the good shit, they know which house to come to. Mine's Jimmy. It's in the Microcosm.
Is she not right? Is she insane? Will she now run for her life and live that ends this day? Is she not right? Is she insane? Will she now run for her life? Now she lie? You always wanted people to remember you, to leave your little mark on society. Don't you know your wish is coming true today? Another victim dies
It's like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking. It's like I picked the wrong week to quit drinking. It's like I picked the wrong week to quit amphetamine.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Lullabies in an ancient tongue.
Politicians, fuel your fire. Innocent race will live on fire. 21st century schizoid man.
See, I still think you should have used that for the McDonald in the Morning intro, dude. That thing kicks ass.
So, yeah. When I say I like King Crimson, it's after there's two phases to King Crimson, right? They came back in the 80s. Tony Levin, Adrian Belew, and Robert Fripp, a three-man band. After they got that prog rock stuff from the late 60s to the early 70s out of their system.
Yeah.
And then they did some of the most amazing music ever. They have these 3 albums in the 80s, just the primary colors. It's just red, yellow, and blue. The blue album, the red album, the yellow album, and they're just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Fripp is like a living Mozart. People don't realize that guy's a mad genius.
Down, boy. He doesn't like King Crimson, man. Sorry. Watch out. I used to make him listen to King Crimson and not let him have any food, and he got pissed. So now whenever he hears it, he has that memory, a flashback, and then he just goes berserk, man. Down, boy. No, I'm just kidding. No animals were starved in the making of that sound effect, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so listen, it's top of the hour. It's time for us to head out for the break. But before we do, Bruce McDonald, thanks for being here tonight. Rockin' Rio, are you still there?
I am here.
Somewhere in the mist, he's there. So anyway, thanks for being here, and don't forget, listener supported. Come on over, come to the top of the website there, revolution.radio. You'll see it. Donations. Just go there, and you can help yourself to a helping of free speech. 48 hours a day, 7 days a week. Hey, Danny Title, what's happening? Into the Microcosm, Jimmy Jean on YouTube, Independent Broadcast Network, freeworld.fm. Tonight's the night, and you're the man. Is that what you used to say when you go out and you're gonna go face the world? You just look yourself in the mirror and you say, "Today's the day, and I'm the man because." And you gotta have a reason. That's it. The because is the reason you gotta have. So today's the day, I'm the man because. See? Because. Get it?
Radio at freedomslips.com, and we'll be right back after this message.
Hey everyone, it's Barbara Jean Lindsay, the Cosmic Oracle. If you have questions about your past lives or future plans, need answers from the cosmos about your love life or career, or just want to keep your finger on the pulse of the planet, check out my show, The Cosmic Oracle, here on Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com.
Did you ever feel that things were not quite right? That everything was just ever so slightly askew?
Do you have, to paraphrase Morpheus, a splinter in your mind?
If you're interested in hearing the latest information about UFOs, the paranormal,
ancient cultures and structures,
monatomic elements,
longevity,
fantastic discoveries in science,
downloaded to your brain,
then tune into us. Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Mackie.
And we are Shiny Side Out, Sundays 2 to 4 a.m. Eastern. See you then.
Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. You don't need to expect us. We're already here.
The Secret Kindergarten is here for the young children of the world. The best program on the radio for kids. Dealing with the most important topics in the whole universe. Fairy tales, music and movement, numbers, plants, animals, fun, colors, insects. Take care and cast your ears out to catch a story from the world of other young things. Reach out, up, under, and over. Sing a song. Talk about feelings. Just remember the magic word. The magic word is no! Step on into the Secret Kindergarten. Saturdays, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Right here on Revolution Radio.
Check in every Thursday night for the Crypt Rick and Jonathan Show. Studio A, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right here at the #1 listener-supported radio station, Revolution Radio.
Join me at Revolution Radio, Studio B, at 11 a.m. on Saturday for Free Association, when we take a look at philosophy, spirituality, psychology, social issues, and geopolitics. It's every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern on Studio B at freedomslips.com.
I want to thank everybody for listening to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com, the one place where information never sleeps. Revolution Radio.
All right, let's show them what we got here.
All right, thanks for listening while we take that short break here at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. And now we're going to get back to your host.
It's Friday night. Mine's Jimmy. It's Revolution Radio. It's
You remind me of a man.
freeworld.fm. It's the independent broadcast network. Stay tuned, stand by, hold on, and let's get it on.
Yeah, the man with the power. Yeah, the power of voodoo. Yeah, you do. Oh, winkum, dinkum, not of a trick. Save us from the man with the hex. Save us from his evil curse. It's gonna get bad, yeah, it's gonna get worse. Alakazam, save us from that evil man with hairy legs and heavy feet. He cracks the pavement as he creaks.
That's Man with the Hex.
Yeah, the man with the power.
The Atomic Fireball. Yeah, you do. It's into the microcosm Friday night. Thanks for spending your borrowed time with us tonight. We appreciate it. Lots of places you could be, and, well, the party's right here. Say what's up to TalkStream Live, number 6, right behind TFR. Should go over there go on over to TalkStream Live and click on the Revolution Radio icon. See if we can get us up in the top 4 there.
Save us, 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 save us.
Rock and Rio, are you there?
Yep.
It's a long, hard battle, isn't it? It's non-stop.
Shit.
Is that Bruce McDonald over there? The man? He's here. He's there. He's everywhere. I think
I'm
so.
here.
Damn. Well, looks like it's a full house over here in the chat. We got 60 people over here in the microcosm on YouTube, and it's Revolution Radio. It's freeworld.fm. It's the independent broadcasting network. That's right. Well, listen, Bruce. We had a lot of calls last week, and I know you've been taking calls on your show now, haven't you? So,
yeah, I'm open for calls.
Yeah, well, why don't we just go ahead and open up the lines, and we'll just run it as normal. I'll just go ahead and patch it on in when we get the calls. We're going to give out the number. Let's hear from you tonight. We want to hear from you tonight, hear what's going on with you. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? I mean, we want to take the temperature of the people in the audience and find out exactly what's going on with them. I mean, are they with us? Are people starting to come to the realization this has always been a debtor's prison from day one? We just didn't realize it. They painted some picture. They called it the American dream, and they told you you're going to live behind a white picket fence and everything was going to be perfect. You know, they sold you on the dream, man. They got your family split up, the man and the woman both working. No one to raise the child but the TV and then subsequently the iPad. I mean, what is going on with people, Bruce? Give out the number. Let's hear from people tonight. Let us hear what you have to say about the current situation. Because it doesn't look, at this point, it looks like, Bruce, we've passed the point of no return, and now it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, I don't agree.
It's borrowed
But I hear
time.
you.
You don't think we've passed the point of no return, Bruce?
Well, I definitely think California has. But when you say us, I expand it into me. Canada's in rough shape, but it's fighting back, man.
But
it's fighting back.
I'm not. I mean,
864-810-1039. 864-810-1039. We want to hear from you, ladies and gentlemen. We want to hear about your America, your Canada, and how your experiences do or do not correlate to what we're talking about on Into the Microcosm. Give us a call.
Borders are man-made lines on a map. The world belongs to everyone because we were put here by God.
Hello.
I think,
We're
Jimmy,
free.
this might be the reincarnation of Edward.
You got it. Bruce McDonald, you're awesome.
This looks like we have a caller. Bruce McDonald, do we have a
Hello?
caller? Hello.
Hello, Jimmy.
Yes, sir.
Jimmy Jean. That's one thing. I'm the guy that called last week.
It's
the
interesting that
reincarnation guy.
it's interesting because I saw a thing earlier today about John Dee in the 1500s. And having a diary of some sort of interactions that took place then.
Yeah, 1527 to 1608. That was a period of time.
Well, let's get into this a little bit. Where did that English magic? Where did that English magic come from at that time in history? Because if memory serves me right, the Jews weren't let back into 1550. 99.9% European magic is coming off, or the Talmud, the Babylonian Talmud. So I'm curious. Yeah, curious, where did John Dee and his Dr. Watson and magical crime there get their magical?
Kelly?
They spoke the Enochian language, right? Which is the Book of Enoch, which would have only been in Hebrew. Did they speak Hebrew?
Yes, John Dee spoke Hebrew, Greek, Aramaic. He spoke just about everything. That was his frustration, was not being able to get the knowledge that he was looking for to basically pierce the veil of the dark, the occult. That's why he went into the occult, to get knowledge from higher levels of beings, right? But yeah, this Enochian language, supposedly the language of the angels, basically. That's what he and Kelly did. They deciphered the alphabet of the Enochian language and created his version of a magical system. And if you watch the movie Queen Elizabeth Magician, they actually go into, I think it was into Poland, or into one of the places that they were taken in by and given shelter. And there was in the documentary, they actually went there and saw some of John Dee's and Edward Kelly's alchemy artifacts and stuff, sigils and other things there, and even a white powder, which could possibly be the powder of gold, And
so sure, it wasn't cocaine.
Can I?
What's that?
Bruce, you're
there's
breaking
the white
up.
Powder of gold. Yeah,
You're
breaking up a little bit.
Up, Jimmy.
So there, you were breaking up. Yeah, now you're better. Go ahead. So
okay.
are you making the assertion that this white powder was gold made from lead?
Well, I'm not saying it was made from lead necessarily, but they were looking for the Philosopher's Stone, like all alchemists are looking for the Philosopher's Stone.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, just a couple of quick points that people aren't aware of that much is Sir Isaac Newton was an alchemist, and he was much like John Dee. He was actually looking for the secrets of the universe, right? And he was actually trying to basically pierce the veil of the occult. But, in his spare time, he just wrote the Principia Mathematica, which is the basis of Newtonian physics. That's what he did in his spare time when he wasn't searching for the secrets of the universe. So it's kind of ironic, eh? But yeah, this magical system is what's being used by the Illuminati now, and also the Luciferians and all that kind of stuff. Everything seems to be tied together from different directions. I've got a couple of things that I want to say.
Please do.
Let's get into this.
Go ahead.
Let's get into this a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm very curious.
Hang on a second, Bruce. Hang on a second.
Me too.
Go ahead and say what you're going to say. You said you had a few things you wanted to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, a couple. I'd like to throw out a few things for your perusal. Okay, just on a different topic. When one of the most brilliant guys on the planet, Elon Musk, says he's scared shitless of AI, people should pay attention. That's one thing.
Yeah, he said that. He said that like a year ago.
Yeah, and
it's too late.
I accessed a channeled past life reading of Elon Musk. This is kind of weird, a little out there, and kind of hard to wrap your brain around some of this. But
let me run it by me. Let me wrap my brain around, or at least try.
Okay, all right. There's a fellow on the internet by the name of Sam the Illusionist, right? And he does past life readings for people, and he also channels beings on higher levels like angels and that sort of thing, right? Like I did when I was John Dee. And he said this past life, Elon Musk has a soul contract with the reptilians. Okay. And I think a lot of people realize that he's kind of treading both sides of the line, right? He's working for both sides, the dark and the light. Okay. Neuralink, okay? That should tell you something. Well, Elon Musk here's why he wants to go back to Mars, because he was on Mars. 1 million years ago, he was on Mars, and I heard you guys talk about this another time, too. There was a planet, by the way, Velikovsky wrote a book called Worlds in Collision.
Yeah.
And he knew a lot about this thing about how planets can, interfere with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 1 million years ago, there was a planet between Jupiter and Mars, and it was called Tiamat.
Yeah.
You've actually mentioned that word, right?
Right.
Okay,
So
it's also known by
the
another name.
asteroid belt.
Well, this planet between Jupiter and Mars was actually destroyed in a galactic war.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened. That's what became the asteroid belt.
Right.
Okay, and it also at that time wiped the atmosphere off of Mars and basically turned it into a desert planet.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one thing I find rather fascinating about that. It explains why the asteroid belt was there. The other thing about Elon Musk, I've been praying for him for a number of years to go to the light, which I think he is. Yeah, I think he's working with the White Hats now. He's working with DARPA. And he's doing some good stuff, like Twitter and all that.
Mm.
But he has a soul contract with the dark side, with the reptilians and that. So
yeah, there's no
for
way
him to deal with.
There's no way Elon Musk is on normal people's side.
Yeah, no, I know.
No.
I don't know.
But the thing is,
the Illuminati.
The thing about it is that the neural link is a grotesque example of a potentiality. It's not necessarily a reality, because the thing is it's like a magician. I'm going to show you the neural link over here and have you thinking about installing something into your skull. Meanwhile, I'm running software on you already. I don't need the neural link anymore, because I'm already doing what I could do with the neural link without it. Mm-hmm. Because I've already figured out how to do that. I've already figured out how to interfere with you and your brain via, infrasonic and ultrasonic and ultra low frequency interference. So,
well, the thing with Neuralink is that they always bring this out. They bring it out as a positive thing, because there is a positive side to it. It can actually repair, like nerve tissue in your spinal cord or whatever.
It's for the children. It's for the children.
Yeah,
it's for the children children who have no legs. It can make them, walk again on artificial limbs. There's so many good things that could be done with it.
That's right. It's a double-edged sword, just like with anything else. Any great power can be used one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one thing. Like, for example, Superman.
Why don't they just get come clean with the technology that they have? Like the movie The Fifth Element, when they have a chunk of flesh,
right,
and they rebuild the form of this piece of flesh. Why don't they just if somebody's not perfect, why don't they just make them perfect at that point?
Well, there is the capability of that.
I know.
When I say they, if you want to think of them as the Illuminati or the Cabal, or the ones in the high level of technology, like from the secret space program and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I've had access to some high level Illuminati sources, and
okay. So here's the thing: you allude to these to this information. Yet, get to the information and don't sidetrack yourself with all these side issues. Let's just get right to the meat of the matter and stay on the subject. Because I know it's hard. I know it's hard because you feel as though you need to educate the audience before you can drop the information. But the audience here at Into the Microcosm, I think they're pretty sharp. So I think you can just focus.
They're very well informed.
Exactly. So I think
I have my nephew, Logan Gray, is in Space Force. Okay, he's in Space Force. He worked he was in the Navy and was working for Space Force when he was in the Navy. Now he's joined Space Force. So I have basically a connection with that. And Space Force has technology that is, get this, 400 years ahead of anything that we know about. So this is super high technology. Some of it's connected with the secret space program, which the bad guys or the dark has been using against us. And but that's all coming out. By the way, I'm sure you're aware of Dr. Stephen Greer, and I used to kind of think that he was with SETI and all that, and I used to think that SETI was just kind of a way of getting government grants, right?
You're getting off the subject. You're getting off the subject.
Stephen Greer, I think he is he's the real deal with bringing out disclosure.
I don't think
There's
so.
a couple of different.
I'd have to disagree with you. He's been around for a long time. I've been listening to Stephen Greer since he was originating back on the Art Bell experience.
Yeah, me too.
So
me too. And I didn't have a whole lot of respect for him back then, but since I've heard him going to Congress with whistleblowers and that sort of thing, and making it possible for whistleblowers to come forward with.
I don't think so, man. Nope. I'm not buying it. But I mean, let's just put it this way. Old Jimmy, I've been around the block over here on the independent in the independent media. So I'm a bit skeptical and jaded about anything. If I see anything weird, okay, believe me, I'm a trained observer. I pay attention to every single detail. I pay attention to the tone of your voice. I pay attention to your inflection. I pay attention to your energy flow. I pay attention to your patterns. I pay attention to every single fucking thing that you don't even pay attention to. So so the thing is, it's like, you don't have to follow what I say. I want people to think for themselves. No. For me, Stephen Greer, I have to give him the thumbs down. Sorry.
Okay, the other thing, too, is there are different directions for disclosure. By the way, Jimmy, I understand that you live in my old stomping grounds of Santa Cruz, California.
That's right. I do.
I grew up in Santa Cruz, California. Back in the 60s, I was surfing in Santa Cruz when the Beach Boys were at the top of the charts. So
it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I lived with my grandparents in the Santa Cruz Mountains and would go swimming in Capitola Beach. You know where that's at?
Of course.
I have a lot of good memories of
it's a good place. There's good energy here. There's good vibes here in Santa Cruz. Come on down. Yeah. Come to Santa Cruz, ladies and gentlemen. It's a world destination. People coming from all over the world. It's a nice place. But listen,
I miss it actually.
Let's give out that. Let's give out that phone number again, Bruce. 864-810.
810-1030.
1039. 864-810-1039. It's in the Microcosm Friday night. We're open lines tonight. We want to hear what you have to say. So, what are we going to call you? Now you've called this second time you called, so we got to call you some.
I don't know. You guys come up with a name. My name is Randy Gray.
Okay, Randy. You don't have to give us your last name. We'll just call you Randy, and that's good enough. So, Randy,
my last name is important because how can I not be involved in all this kind of stuff? And my last name is Gray, so I have a connection with the aliens, right? Anyway, I'll let you guys deal with that.
Well, let me ask you a question. Now, see, for me, the gray alien, if I'm going to look at it, right, what I see is like an ant-like creature with giant black eyes, To me, those eyes look like they come from underground. So to me, I would say that if I was going to invest any of my time and energy into thinking or looking into the UFO phenomenon, I would be more inclined to believe that they were coming from somewhere inside the Earth, from an ancient civilization that knows how to manipulate the electrogravitics. Electrogravitics are the key, ladies and gentlemen. So but anyways,
well, that's what the Hopis and other Indian cultures say. They were like the ant people underground, right? And a whole lot of shit is going down underground as we speak.
You're not one of these people that are saying that the white hats are blowing up underground bases, and that's why we're getting all these earthquakes, are you?
Well, actually, I think there is some truth to that. And
well, listen,
if you listen to Ben Fulford, he talks about it as well.
I don't listen.
Fulford report.
Yeah, I don't listen to Ben Fulford, but if I did, he'd probably be saying something like that. But anyway, listen. Let me.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. So I can't get behind it. There's too many other things that I can actually put my finger on. Like for example, if you're thinking about earthquakes, take a look over what's going on in Iceland with the volcano over there. There was 1,500 earthquakes earlier today. They issued a stern warning. They're expecting there to be some blow going on over there. We'll see. I don't know. 864-810-1039, 864-810-1039. Give us a call. Randy's on the line. Rock and Rio and Bruce McDonald. Now, you had some questions for Randy?
Added a caller, a mad painter.
Oh, hey, Ahmad. What's happening, man?
What's going on?
Hey, man. Good to have you. Hey, man. Man, wow. What an honor, man.
Well,
appreciate it.
I'll tell you, Space Force damn sure ain't 400 years in advance to us. I'm sorry. If they were, we would be under control of them by now.
Yeah, so, hey, Matt, this is Randy. He's a caller now. He says he is John D. From...
reincarnation of John D?
What? Yeah,
from back in the 1500s, yeah.
So he had brought up that, now what did you say, now your son was a part of the Navy, and then he joined Space Force, and now you and
my
nephew.
My nephew, my brother's son.
So Ahmad seems like he disagrees with the 400 years. Ahmad, come on in. Let's give us some background.
I was in the Navy. I was messed with nuclear weapons and stuff, and
okay.
They are more advanced. Military is more advanced than the civilians, but there's a certain period there that once you pass it, there's no going. We would be mind control, all of us by now. If they're 400 years in advance to us, they know how to control our minds. Just
Well, I think the equation of it.
I was talking about weapon technology that they have that they've had for quite a while now.
What is
now that I might agree that they're maybe 50 to 100 years advanced as far as weapons technology, because when I was in the Navy in the 70s, we literally had laser tracking stuff and guidance systems. Then they just weren't allowed to be put on the ships.
What is the exact equation of Moore's law? That the processing power, how much does the processing power double?
Every 2 years.
So every 2 years. So if process,
it used to be every 2 years it doubled or something.
But see, the technology has changed now. We're no longer using that type of system. We're using they're working on. That's the whole thing behind the quantum computers.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say, because back then when that was the law, and if we were to use that and think about it, our computers didn't change that much in that amount of time. The processing power and what was able to be done.
Well,
but
normal people don't need that kind of power.
Right, but I'm saying in the background, that Moore's law was going on, and every time that it went on, it put those people with that technology that much further ahead, and so
further advanced. Yeah,
right. And so as the years went by, it started to be further and further in advance because the technology was advancing at such a high speed.
It's to the point now where the computers are actually designing the circuitry and designing the stuff, and we don't understand how. They've got this little area that's called the black box. And we don't have a clue what goes on inside that black box, but it spits out the right answers.
Yeah. AI, right?
But we got no clue what goes on inside that area. That's where the quantum computer interacts with this other dimension.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's the space. Go ahead, Randy.
Yeah. There's a couple of things I wanted to throw out there for your perusal, and one of them is I came up with a saying a long time ago: you can't protect yourself from what you don't know about, and what you don't know can hurt you. That's why knowledge is power. There's a thing about, this battery electric car thing, which it's just not going to be able to work. There's not enough lithium on the entire planet. Yeah,
it's a scam.
There's not enough lithium on the entire planet to make it work. But there's another side to that, a dark side, is that, and I found this out from a couple of high-level Illuminati types on the internet quite a few years ago, is that the batteries have cobalt in them, okay? And cobalt, if a dirty bomb goes off in New York, for example, all of the batteries in these electric cars that have cobalt in them, it will cause the cobalt to instantly mutate into another isotope of cobalt, and I think it's cobalt-61. That is one of the most deadly radiations there is. Right? It could wipe out a whole city.
I seem to remember a dude by the name of Tim Refat. That used to be his whole thing that he talked about for years and years and years, and then he disappeared off into Thailand somewhere, and never really heard about him again. But I mean, cobalt is a dangerous situation in any event. But I mean,
they actually got cobalt bombs.
Yeah. Hey, Matt. Right. Have you heard anything about this? And I think it's tomorrow, or it's already on the East Coast. It already is tomorrow. But this Day of the Martyr. Have you heard about this? Because I mean, to me, that's an awful dangerous situation. Because I mean, it doesn't take much to have a martyr. Now, does it? So I mean,
we have allowed people to come into this country and set them up in houses, give them food, give them everything they need, and they're terrorist cells. What do you think's going to happen?
Okay, well, this Day of the Martyr thing, does that have something to do with the Muslim call for all the Muslims to rise up and
for what's
wreak havoc?
Exactly, for what's going on now.
That's
over
what
there.
I've heard.
Well, you know what a martyr is, right?
Yeah,
somebody who blows themselves up.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I mean, there's a lot of this talk. There's a lot of talk about, reasons to be vigilant. And I would say that if there was something that was called the Day of the Martyr, when I would think about how many people are living everywhere around in all communities all around the world where they might just decide to, blow themselves up. And I mean, I think that's a situation that's why this type of warfare was invented in the first place. It's called terrorism for a reason, because you never know. You always got to be afraid, because you never know when somebody's going to blow themselves up. But it's a call.
I never even give terrorism a thought before 9/11.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody did.
No.
Well, the real terrorists are the government. Okay. everybody's, they always like to shift it, like you say, it's a magic trick. Look over here while they're doing something over there. And they're trying to make any kind of pretext they can, and they're using terrorism. Well, you know how it is with Werner von Braun on his deathbed when he kind of dropped the pants on the whole thing about how the different methods they were going to use to control us, and then the last ditch attempt would be two phases of Project Bluebeam. One to fake an alien invasion, and if that doesn't work, get this. Their second version is to fake the second coming of Christ, and then the big deception with that
I swear, Randy,
equate.
Randy, you are like the greatest hits of the alternative media. I mean, Jesus Christ, man! With every single sentence that comes out of your mouth, you bring up like 5 or 6 subjects that people have made whole careers out of. It's absolutely, you're absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I've just been obsessed with a lot of different knowledge from different areas.
Absolutely amazing.
Jim, I'm more inclined to believe, like you do, that they're coming, the UFOs coming from inside the Earth, or they're coming interdimensionally. It sure is a lot easier to move interdimensionally than extragalactic.
Yeah, I know, and the thing,
right.
the thing too.
You know what?
The thing too. Hang on a second, Randy.
Yeah.
Hang on a second, Randy.
Yeah.
Because listen, Mad. The thing about it is a lot of times, what happens is people project their human ideas onto something that's not human. So in other words, for example. Here on Earth, for some reason, human beings looked out at the ocean and decided that they were going to try to build a boat and sail on it and go see what was out there. But, I mean, without projecting human ideas onto something that's not human, I mean, what makes people think aliens are sitting somewhere going, I think I'm going to go fly around, look for myself a blue marble or whatever, you know what I mean?
Let's go scare somebody.
Yeah, it makes so much more sense that they're coming from inside the Earth, that they're not coming from far away, and like you say, interdimensional. That makes sense to me, but flying throughout space and this type of thing, I can't. I don't really get.
Well, I can see that happening, but the technology that has to go into removing that distance between A and B is unreal. Think of it. It takes 3 days to get to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? There are other ways to get to the moon, and I do believe that the moon landing was faked by Stanley Kubrick, the most brilliant filmmaker in history. And I'll just put it out there. You don't have to believe what I say, but I'll just put it out there. Is that Stanley Kubrick? And if there's a documentary called Dark Side of the Moon, and it's not Pink Floyd,
right,
by William Carroll, and you can go online. And I saw this on CBC News World in Canada.
I've seen it.
I've seen it too.
Yeah, and it has all the Nixon cabinet that was still alive. Henry Kissinger and
I gotta say, listen, I gotta say, I did see that early on when I was introduced to the independent media. I did see that, and I really, when I saw it at first, I was like blown away, and I was just completely,
me too.
I believed it, but. It's fishy.
Let me make some clarification here.
Please do. And I'm just to say, all that rums.
In the time period that the moon landings happened, we couldn't allow millions of people to watch 3 of our astronauts die live on TV.
Yeah. Yep.
They had a film ready. What they would have done was made it so they come all the way back and died on re-entry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the thing is a lot of people, one thing I've noticed about people is they can't wrap their brain around two seemingly opposite things being true both at the same time.
Yeah,
Now, I
it's
do
called
believe
double
that
think.
we went to the moon, but I don't think it was the way that people think.
Yeah, that see
And
that.
I think
I'll tell you what.
anti-gravity
Now
may
that's
have
a
been
possibility too. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Randy, you know what's funny about you saying that is I distinctly remember there used to be a "we never went to the moon" period crowd. No, you couldn't.
yeah.
You couldn't convince
There still
anyone.
is.
Yeah, and well, listen to this. Then all of a sudden, this guy goes on George Norrie. This guy, I can't think of his name. It'll come to me in a second. He used to be with NASA, and he goes on there all the time. I can't think of his name.
John Lear?
No, I can't.
John Lear?
No. Anyways.
Hoagland?
Yeah, exactly. Hoagland. So
Yeah,
all of a
Hoagland,
sudden,
Face on
so
Mars,
this Hoagland. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to give you some
The
history.
janitor at NASA.
Yeah. Hey, Randy. I'm trying to give you some
Yeah.
I'm trying to give you some history here. So listen. So he's going on there, and somebody brings up that we never went to the moon, and he got so pissed, so offended, and so on, and he just went off. And from that point forward, there was a second crowd that developed, and that was, well, I believe we went to the moon, just not like we said we did. In other words, oh well, yeah, we went to the moon, and it was a whole secret thing or whatever. And so there's really no way to know one way or the other. You know.
Well, now there is some documentation that said we went in the 50s.
Yeah, I mean, and isn't there a whole secondary story about going there, and then there being things there, and we were told don't come back or whatever, and that's why we never came back.
The last mission, there was one more mission after the one that was public, according to the people out there, that found a ship on the dark side of the moon. They went inside it and they found a woman. They call her Mona Lisa.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. One
that
quick
footage
thing
is pretty accurate.
Yeah.
That's trippy.
Well, you remember when Buzz Aldrin, when he was approached by Bart Sibrel, who made that movie about the moon landing, and then Buzz Aldrin punched him out. You know, that's kind of the thing. Yeah. Buzz Aldrin punched him out when he said that he was a liar. When Bart Sibrel said that he was a liar.
Randy, let me ask you.
Losing it. He was losing it at the end mentally. He was.
Yeah, he was.
Randy,
pretty well impaired.
Randy, let me ask you a question. How much time have you spent watching videos on YouTube?
Oh, too much.
Seriously, is it in the thousands?
We're all to blame for that now.
I know. Well, I mean, let's face it. I mean, if you want to know something, it's on YouTube. And there's a video. For some reason, you know what I mean? It's funny too, AMAG, because a lot of times I'll find something that it's literally unbelievable, like how to change this specific headlight in my particular vehicle or something. And it's like, what blows me away is like there's somebody sitting somewhere at some point thinking to themselves, man, you know what? I'm going to go out and make a video of how to change this light bulb in this type of vehicle. You know? You know what I mean? It's like, so for some reason, someone just gets a wild hair up their ass and they make these videos. And next thing you know, people are making rocket stoves and, you know. I mean, you know what I mean? That rocket stove thing is super cool, man. You know, I mean, you can learn.
What is that? Content creators?
Yeah, content creators. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. So, how's things going over at the station? Everything good?
Yes, we're making it anyways.
Okay,
I mean,
good.
Donations are down a little bit, but has to do with the economy and Biden, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
And
exactly. Well,
that whole Biden clown show has got to end soon.
Randy,
we picked up 2 new hosts today, so they'll be starting out here in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So Bruce McDonald, are you there? I think he's still here. I think
he is, but he's muted.
His icon is there.
Bruce, you're muted.
Yeah, how you doing?
The mutations. So listen, go ahead.
Believe it or not, I'm sitting outside on the porch in a t-shirt right now.
Get out of here.
Oh, it is beautiful out here.
Are you at your new place?
Where are you located? Where are you located in
Florida, Georgia line.
Georgia?
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Nice. So listen, hey Matt, do you got anybody on at 7 a.m. Pacific?
That'd be 10.
Yeah, I guess
Eastern?
at 10 Eastern. Yeah.
I'm not sure. I would have to look at a schedule.
Oh, just curious. So listen, go ahead.
I'm sure B is open. Well, most of it is open on the weekends. There's show at 11, I think.
Someone in the chat room knows what you were talking about that Mona Lisa.
Oh yeah, it's not. I mean, you can go see the tape of it. It's pretty convincing. The inside of the thing is with me with that is they brought it inside the ship and they supposedly brought it back, and they didn't take no kind of precaution.
That is wild, man. Seriously.
Did you hear?
I mean, if you were going to bring something alien back from the moon, you would seal that sucker up,
It's my personal opinion, and it always has been. I don't believe that human beings can live off of the earth. I think that we are completely and totally tied to the earth itself. And I don't think that we can survive
our Akkadian rhythm is actually set to Mars.
That's trippy.
Oh, circadian rhythms, yeah.
When they go to the space station, it changes to Mars's.
You know what? I think you're absolutely right about that because I'm a night person and I've never been able to get my circadian rhythms to go to a daytime thing. It might have had something to do with that.
I think
there's some truth to that.
The space station only works because that's as far away as they can go. I don't think they'll be able to.
Yeah,
I don't think human beings will be able to survive in space without the energy of the Earth, the vibration of the Earth, the human resonance. I think all of those things are integral into being a human being. And
yeah,
I don't think possible. I don't think it. I just. That's why if there's traveling that's done, it has to be from point A to point B. Interdimensionally, instantaneously, to some place
isn't Musk going to show us this?
Well, I don't know, but if we were, I'm just saying, let's just say, when you go to the bumper cars, and the bumper cars, there's a metal floor, and then there's a metal fence thing on the top, and you got this thing that connects you to the floor.
Oh, yeah, we did bumper cars. Yeah, that was fun.
Well, human beings are similar to bumper cars in saying that the earth and the firmament and everything here involved in our atmosphere is kind of like bumper cars. And if you take that bumper car off the track, it's not going to work. There has to be an electrical connection.
Well, now we are connected. Everything is connected. Even the universe is connected. There's a faint, I don't know what they call it.
It's like a heart.
But they measure it. They're able to measure it, and it's like 1/100th of the gravity of the Earth. But it connects everything.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. So instantaneous transportation from point A to point B. So where these,
I believe that's possible eventually, and if let's
just say the universe is electric.
400 years ahead of us, we'd already have that.
Well, let's say we're
Yeah,
electrical.
it's like folding space, for example. Like it talks about in some of the science fiction movies. It's actually science fact.
But
a lot of what
I don't know about folding space, but you have what Einstein called strange,
spooky, right?
Yes,
at a distance.
at a distance, which is quantum entanglement of
Yeah.
particles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, so listen,
Well,
if you
that's
do,
different,
Randy, if you dematerialize here on Earth and materialize then again somewhere else, in that momentary moving from point A to point B, you never lost your electrical connection. You can go into this other atmospheric condition that is similar with the same sort of human resonance that's going on Earth someplace else.
Well, see, that's what them people were talking about. The jump room was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Basically,
yeah.
What that group was, I can't remember. Andrew Basiago.
Yeah.
Well, that was connected with the Philadelphia experiment, the Montauk experiment, and all that. That's a whole fascinating story, by the way. I can tell you a story about how
I've interviewed all of them except Andrew.
Who?
Before.
I interviewed all them people except Andrew Basiago. He won't come on a show with me.
What'd you say, Bruce?
Well, you know, say again.
Hey, Randy.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. What'd you say, Bruce?
I was going to say to Randy, the Philadelphia experiment thing. It sounds pretty interesting. We've never heard about.
Bruce, that's funny. No, hey, Randy, I got to say, man, seriously. I don't know how long this call. How long? Look on your thing there, Bruce, and see how long Randy's been on this call. Because I got to say, dude, you have packed more conspiracy theories into this period of time than I've ever heard in my life. It almost.
By the way, I'm recording this whole program.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, that's best to do that.
Well, surprise, we are too.
Yeah, I know.
It's best to do that too.
I was
it's best
just
to
full disclosure, right?
Well, listen, Randy, we appreciate you giving us a call, man. We really do. And you know, feel free to call anytime. We appreciate you.
Okay, there's just a couple of quick things that I wanted to get out here.
All right, the thing is, though, you keep saying that, and then you sidetrack yourself down a road.
Yeah,
and it's hard once you get going. It's hard to stop you. So
I know.
So all right. So listen, we'll let you continue, but listen, if you start to throw any red herrings, man, I'm going to hang up on you.
All right.
All right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. I appreciate that.
Go ahead. Be succinct. I want you to be succinct and direct. Go ahead.
Okay. I'll be brief as possible.
Be brief.
The one thing that I did want to get out about was the thing about the COVID.
Down, boy. Hang on, Randy.
Also, I want to give
Randy,
a suggestion.
Be cool. Commander's getting pissed off. Just be direct. Go ahead.
Okay. One thing, a shout out to Cliff High. I've been following Cliff High for some time. He's a very smart guy, and he's also really clued in about esoterics and things like that. You know, and if you go check out Cliff High, he references a very brilliant Russian, I believe, mathematician that has basically referenced indication of one of the secrets of the universe, like that the universe actually has a frequency, and it actually oscillates from existence to non-existence and then back to existence again at the frequency of 22 trillion times per second. Now, that's hard to wrap your brain around, but there seems to be some mathematical evidence of this that this Russian scientist, I think he called him
the smallest we can measure is a Mach Planck. So I don't see how they could measure. Yeah, I don't see how they could measure that because that's way smaller than that.
Check this out.
Yeah, I know. It's like I said, it's hard to. It's kind of mind-boggling, but
listen,
it is fascinating.
You're not boggling.
Well, it's beyond physics.
You're not boggling my mind, Randy. Randy, get a hold of yourself. My mind's not boggled.
Okay.
All right, listen.
No, I know you're not bothered.
No, listen.
I
want to listen in reference to what you're saying. Listen, listen in reference to what you're saying. Listen, there was a movie that came out. It was called Tomorrowland. And
I saw it.
Okay,
I believe it does. It does oscillate, like you said, because all atoms do. I mean, the double slit experiment proved that.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah,
Listen.
Michelson Morley experiment.
Listen, in the movie Tomorrowland, it was said that Tesla. Who else was it? Who else was it? Rio.
Yeah.
It was Tesla. It was Eiffel. It was Jules Verne, and one other person. And the Eiffel Tower was an antenna that received every frequency.
I saw that.
The Eiffel Tower was an antenna that received every frequency in the universe. And that they were going to use that to establish this method of going to this other place or this other dimension.
Yeah, I saw the movie. It was a really good Disney movie, actually.
It was a good movie. And there was 57 days till the end of the world in that movie.
Yeah. Okay, now also, Tesla's most brilliant inventor in history, really.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you know the story about John Trump, Trump's uncle who knew Tesla. Yeah. And
Man,
the story
dude,
about all that.
I
He got all of Tesla's papers and all that, right?
It's been literally
and that's how it went into the... Go ahead.
I swear, after this, we're done. I'm going to go back and listen to this, and I'm going to count up how many cliche conspiracy theories you brought up in the last 60 minutes. Because I'm going to say, the only thing I haven't heard you say yet is they found mammoths with tropical food in their stomachs from the from the pole shift. Down boy. Down boy. Down. Go ahead, Bruce.
I call it Enochian ADHD.
Enochian ADHD. Wow. All right, listen. We're coming up on the top of the hour. You going to stick around, Matt?
I will.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Stick. I'm going to play a few songs here before we head out for the break. Remember, fully listener-supported Studio A, Studio B, 48 hours a day, 7 days a week. Freedom of speech. The house that Nighthawk built. Come on down, become a supporter. If you don't have any cash, share it around. Let people know where they can find it. Free speech. Like I say.
We need your money.
There he is. And Amad's the station manager over at Revolution.radio. So come on down, like I say, become a supporter. And feed the dog, or watch they get angry, real angry. All right, listen, we'll be back. Take a break, get yourself something to eat. This is the top of the hour. There is no break, so we'll just listen to a few 70 seconds worth of a few songs, and we'll be right back. So enjoy yourselves, get yourself something to drink, like I said, or whatever it is you're gonna do. I'm in California, so weed is legal. Is weed legal on the border? Is weed legal on the border?
Weed is legal in Canada.
Is it legal on the border?
I wish I had some, legal or not.
Oh yeah, weed is legal in Vancouver in Canada. Yeah.
All right. Well, first step: move to where weed is legal.
I'm married to it.
We'll be right back. Thanks for calling, Randy. Talk to you another time. Yeah, see ya.
This is so torturous. I know, but I tell you, but I cannot resist. Just what is it that you are weaving that's keeping my body from leaving? Your presence is lingering longer than I thought it would. I feel that I should succumb to your magic, 'cause I know you're just as strong as an earthquake, bright as a shining star.
It's in the Microcosm Friday night. We'll be right back.
Come so high, living the fast lane.
turning point. Natural selection, the process by which the strongest, the smartest, the fastest reproduced in greater numbers than the rest. A process which had once favored the noblest traits of man now began to favor different traits. Most science fiction of the day predicted a future that was more civilized and more intelligent. But as time went on, things seemed to be heading in the opposite direction, a dumbing down. How did this happen? Evolution does not necessarily reward intelligence.
Friday night. My name's Jimmy. Listen to the Microcosm. Hour number 3 coming up. Here's Little Barry. Pauline.
A face of souls in front of me.
864-810-1039. 864-810-1039. 864-810-1039. Give us a call. Tell us what you think. We're still on the first page over at TalkStream Live. We faltered down to number 8, but we're still up there. Rock and Rio. Are you there?
Somewhere.
Somewhere. He's out there in the mist. Did you hear back from Epic Journeyman? He's 30 feet down the hole. Some people are 30 days. Some people are 30 days in the hole.
Epic He's lost in the dungeon.
He's 30 feet in the hole.
Epic Journeyman's not on tonight, eh?
Who's this? Randy?
He's on special assignment.
Randy, yeah.
Hey, Randy. Thanks for thanks for calling, man. We'll talk to you another time.
Can I just get one quick thing in?
I think you've gotten enough in as it is. I thought we said goodbye to you already. I mean,
okay.
I don't
well,
mean,
yeah, there was one quick thing.
I don't mean to be rude or
in,
anything. I just, there we go. So I didn't know. I saw that icon there. And I thought it was. I didn't know if it was. I didn't want to hang up because I thought it might be a mad, but there's a mad there. So I'm glad. There we go. Thanks for calling, Randy. You can call us another time. I mean, like I said,
he was spitting them out, wasn't he?
He was, man. He was. I mean, he could give a lecture, charge like a couple bucks at the door and just, give a presentation.
Well, that's how a lot of these conferences start is in your local library. You rent out a room and you sell tickets for $5 a head.
Yeah. I mean, people don't remember how the alternative media and the independent media was in the beginning either, because it was like dudes like Jordan Maxwell and all these people would go around with these videotapes and shit and cassettes, and they'd show
they'd carry their not their laptop, they'd carry their normal desktop computer in there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, some of those early Jordan Maxwell presentations where, he goes into a lot of the symbolism and stuff of, I'm saying the real early ones where it's like him.
Yeah, he would go for 4 or 5 hours. He wouldn't do just an hour, you know?
No. And they would be at these hotels, you rent those rooms at a hotel where you can have, an event. And to be at these weird hotels. Well, we're going to be down in shithole Arizona next week down at the conference. Come on down.
We thought about trying to do a conference, but
yeah,
it's pretty expensive to get one going.
Yeah, well, it's expensive. What's the hard thing is to get everybody to be at the same place, and see. But you could do like a video conference where it's like you could join over.
Yeah, we're kicking the idea around about doing maybe webinars.
Yeah, webinars, or that's what I mean. You can do an event where you can have people from all over the world that are making the presentations, but they can all be at the same place at the same time. That's the hard thing, is like doing them live, like when you do it like a contact in the desert type of situation. All those dudes and people that are coming there got to make presentations and show up and do their thing.
They're all getting paid pretty good too.
Yeah, potentially. Some of I would say, and I would imagine that most of what you're going to get on those presentations from the door is, if you're the presenter, you're going to get an X amount out of that, and then you're going to pay some sort of percentage over to them. You know what I mean? For the ticket.
Yeah, a lot of them make their money off selling the
books and stuff.
Their books and stuff like that at the conference.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
Their signature.
Mm-hmm.
Autographed book, they charge $20 more or whatever.
Yeah. Or it's just, it's just a chance to see people. Like I've talked about it before on the air, but I mean, I went to one of those contact in the deserts, and it was, it was actually, dude, I swear to God, I mean, I could sit here, if I told the story of it, I could sit here and tell a story for like 2 hours, and you'd be laughing your ass off. But I had so much stuff happen to me there. I had like a couple of people come up and like want to whistle blow. They knew who I was, and they wanted to whistle blow to me. Like this one dude, this one dude was being electronically harassed, and he comes up to me. He's like, Jimmy, I want to tell you about some stuff. What I want to whistle blow or whatever. And I was like, well, look, dude, I don't want to become part of your story, bro. You got some shit. You know what I mean? If you got some shit going on, I know some people that have a way bigger show than I do that you could talk to, that you get your story out. So, and it was weird too, because we were sitting out there talking out on the grass. In this place was full of spooks too. I swear to God, man. And it's like, so me and this guy were sitting on this grass, and there's nobody around. And he starts telling me about this shit. I'm going to whistle blow to you about this shit or whatever. And I was like, okay, look, dude, I don't want to know anything, just whatever, So the guy tells me a story. The guy's a gambler.
I've only been recognized once outside.
Listen to this. This guy's a gambler, and he consistently goes and plays in casinos, and he wins all the time. And he plays poker. He wins and he wins and he wins. They tell him, we don't want you to come back. He keeps coming back. They rent a house. This casinos rent a house next door to him. They install some equipment in there. And they start blasting this dude, electronically harassing him. Okay? Uh-huh. To the point where he literally built a pyramid out of gallon water jugs, 2 layers thick, that he would sleep in because he couldn't sleep. So then he was so irritated that he had to leave. So he decided he was just going to get in his van and just go drive around. And he liked hot springs. So he was going to go drive around these different hot springs. So he jumps in his van and he starts driving around these hot springs. He's being gang stalked and electronically harassed from other than the government. In other words, someone who has the money can afford to pay people that have this technology and these type of forces behind what they want to do to bring it to bear on just about anybody for any reason. So this guy's driving down the road in his van. He's going to these weird hot springs that are in the middle of nowhere, right? So he tells me he goes to this one hot springs. I think he said he was in Oregon somewhere. It's at these hot springs. There's nobody there. He's the only person in the place. Okay? He's sitting there in the water, and all of a sudden this dude comes walking up with these kids. And these kids like come in there and they get in the water like right where he is. And then the father has got the phone in his hand, or who appeared to be the father has his phone in his hand, and he says to this guy who's in the hot springs, he says, "No, sir, it's okay. You can leave your shorts off. You can leave your shorts off." And because right above his head, it said clothing optional. So this dude was making a video with a GPS stamp of this dude with his pants off in the water next to these two kids. So then the dude moves on and he goes down and he's in the bathroom at some gas station, standing there taking a leak, and all of a sudden some guy comes in there with a kid and snaps a picture of him with his, member in his hand and the kid and the the thing. You know what I mean? So all of a sudden this dude is, and this guy's telling me this is what's happening to him. And in the meantime, when the dude started telling me the story, like I said, we were sitting on this grass and it was the middle of nowhere. It's like the grassy knoll at the contact in the desert. And there was nobody there. But then all of a sudden, as soon as this dude started telling me the story, all of a sudden, someone came over here and it's like sitting on the grass. And then a couple of people came over here and they were sitting there. They're all kind of within earshot distance, of one of those high-powered, listening devices or whatever. Man, I'm telling you guys.
They don't have to get close to you anymore.
No. I mean, you should, there was a lot of shit going on there, man, at that place. Seriously. There is like crazy shit going on there. There was a whole crowd.
I don't know. If I was gambling and I was winning and then people told me to get the hell out of there, I don't think I'd look twice. I'd get the hell out of there.
Yeah, well, especially, exactly. The contact in the desert, there was a whole second group of people. Like there was the people who had the money to stay in the hotel where it was. You know what I mean? And that was it was a high-end hotel. And there was a whole other group of people that were hanging out like downstairs by where the pool was, in this fountain and shit with the smoking area. There's like a bar and all this shit. And there was all these, like people wearing costumes and shit. And they were all like, everybody was just smoking weed and just getting high, and people were partying and playing drums and shit. And it was like in the middle of this hotel. It was shaped like a U. It was a U-shaped, right? And these people were paying like $600-$700 a night for these fucking hotel rooms. And there's all these people down at the bottom playing these drums, and so people were pissed off because it was echoing up in the high rise, and they were pissed off. So the cops come down there and they go, "Hey man, quit playing those drums." There was this whole thing. It almost broke out into a fight. And then it got quiet, and as they walked away, and this dude started playing this, I don't know what it was. It wasn't a drum, but it was still making a bunch of noise. And he starts playing it, and they go, "Hey, we told you no drums." And this dude goes, "It's not a drum." And all of a sudden, it just broke out, and the security guard jumping on this hippie. He was playing like a rain stick or something. I don't even know what it was, but he jumped on this hippie, and they were like beating each other up. There's this woman that was dressed in like a barbarian outfit. She looked like Barbara. It was like, imagine coast to coast, the people that call in, imagine it. Those people were all hanging out at the pool or whatever, the smoking area, smoking weed.
They don't have any of them kind of conferences where I'm at.
You know that group.
I'm near Jacksonville and Tallahassee, and they don't ever have any kind of concept.
You know that dude, Fire in the Sky?
Travis.
Travis,
Walton.
exactly. Yeah, I was standing there. There was a dude standing there, and he's playing his ukulele. So I started bullshitting with him, and it turned out he was Travis's nephew, and he had a bunch of weed, and he's like, "Man, I got a bunch of weed." And I go, "Nice, man." He goes, "Yeah, here, check this out." And so we're smoking some weed. He goes, "Yeah, man." He goes, "Check it out." He goes, "Look at this parlor guitar." He had this Sears parlor guitar, and it was super. I mean, it was vintage, man. And it was badass. And he goes, check this out. And I go, yeah, it's nice. He goes, check it out. He goes, my uncle's coming down here in a little while. He's going to play. And I'm like, really? I go, who's your uncle? He goes, Travis Walton. And I go, is that the Fire in the Sky guy? He goes, yeah. Dude, it's like 110 degrees at night. It's in the desert, down contact in the desert. And here comes Travis Walton, dude. And he comes down and grabs his guitar. He's just standing there like playing flamenco guitar, dude. Believe it or not, Travis Walton can play guitar like an MFer.
Huh.
Believe it or not.
That's cool.
I know. It was cool. His nephew.
I've talked to him, but I haven't never interviewed him, but I have talked with him.
His nephew wanted to kick that dude from Alien. What's that show with the guy with the hair? The messed up hair.
Giorgio Chilokas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever that guy's
Giorgio,
name.
anyways.
Yeah. He almost got his ass kicked by Travis Walton's nephew. He was like, he didn't like that guy at all. I didn't like him either by the end of that thing. But that's a whole other story that we don't have time for. 864-810-1039. 864-810-1039. Give us a call. Get involved in the conversation. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you're going through. Are you buying lottery tickets? Hey, let me ask you this question. I think one of the temperature meters of the economy is how many people are buying lottery tickets when you go to the liquor store. Matt, have you noticed a larger group of people at the liquor store buy lottery tickets when you go?
I don't buy lottery tickets and I don't drink.
Me neither. But you know what? I do go to the liquor store to buy cigarettes, and when I do, there's people standing there waiting for their lottery tickets, and I just it's always beyond me. But anyways, I mean,
I go to the store once a week. That's it.
No lottery zombies there.
Once in a while, but I go to Walmart or Family Dollar, and it's just to pick up food.
Rock and Rio.
The only reason I go.
Rock and Rio, do you buy lottery tickets? I know Bruce doesn't. He wouldn't come down off the mountain to buy a lottery ticket. Rock and Rio, do you buy lottery tickets? No, you don't buy them.
No.
No? No. Nobody buys
Only when it's in like the 9 figures.
Yeah, and even then you'll step out. See, that just goes to show you. Every man has his price.
My son will buy them Mega Millions once in a while. When it gets really up there.
Well,
he'll
buy
a couple of them.
I'll tell you what I think. I think no one ever wins the lottery. The whole thing is bullshit. They just pay someone.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Yeah, they just pay some guy to get the check. And then 20 years later, they pay him to sit on the curb and pretend like he's homeless. Doesn't it seem like every single one of the people that wins the lottery, they end up all strung out on meth or whatever? And they find
most of them. Yeah, you can get the lottery horror stories on YouTube and tell about a bunch of them that become real rich, and then 3 or 4 years later they're penniless.
Wouldn't it be natural? Okay, let's say people that buy lottery tickets probably don't have a lot of financial aptitude. So if they came in and so if they came in contact with a large sum of money, they would spend that money until it was gone. And they just go crazy. They start buying half ounces of blow, having parties, just doing whatever. I mean, why wouldn't it?
If you're smart, you could live, a normal person can live off the interest of $1 million. you couldn't live extraordinary or anything, but you could live a normal life on just the interest.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think those days are gone, my friend. Those days
probably are now.
I know.
You have to have a couple of million, a few million.
I'm just starting to, people are starting to wonder, across the country and around the world how they're going to make it. I mean, this whole thing with India shutting down their rice exports, they're saying that there's going to be a 50% rice shortage. That their contribution into the food chain is 50% of what the rice that people eat comes from India.
I don't doubt it. And about a third of the world lives off a cup of rice a day.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't know. You might want to get yourself a 10-pound bag of Mahatma, but don't do what I did and leave it down in the basement.
No, probably half of the world still has dirt floors.
I bought a 25-pound bag of rice when it was going to be Y2K. I bought a 25-pound bag of rice. And by the time 9/11 hit, I had a whole pack of rats living under my house, fat as cats. They were rats as big as cats.
They was eating that rice, huh?
Exactly. Exactamundo. I went down there. I went
you
down
there.
there.
You can buy 5-gallon buckets at Home Depot for like $5 with a lid.
I know, but it was the year 2000, man. I wasn't experienced in the end of the world yet. I just I heard Art Bell and I was like, you know what, man, I'm just going to get me some rice. But the thing that was so funny about it, dude, it was the realization of it. It was like, I went down there for some reason under my house and I saw the bag of rice. It was a 25-pound bag, and I saw it. And the bag itself was nothing but an empty burlap sack. And then it all started to make sense. The rat population,
You've been feeding them.
So let that be a lesson to you, Bruce. You got to keep your powder dry and your rice in a plastic bucket. Otherwise.
Yeah, them buckets come in handy for beans, corn.
I know.
You might pay $5 for them, but you can seal them up, and they are airtight.
What trips me out is the egg thing. The oil on the eggs, that if you put an egg with mineral oil on it in salt water, that you can put it on the shelf and keep it for a super long time and it stays normal. But that these produced eggs, the first thing they do is wash that oil, the natural oils off. They probably got it programmed into the DNA, the chickens or the.
Well, they wash the eggs before they sell them, because a lot of times they have chicken crap on them.
Yeah, but doesn't that wash off the oil that makes them last longer?
Yeah, and they bleach them probably too.
That's one thing after another.
You'd be surprised at what they do to some foods.
I wouldn't be surprised, but the thing is though, hey Matt, let me ask you this: at what point, when you find out all the shit that we've found out over the years about each thing, about food and air and water and all the shit we're being exposed to, and how there's all this shit going on, once it becomes all that, isn't it almost the same as not knowing anything at all anymore? Because really, at that point, there's nothing you can do about any of it. So you might as well just fucking enjoy life. You know what I mean? If you want a piece of cheesecake, go ahead and have it.
Yeah,
you might.
Your spirit has to take over.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying. You remember in the Matrix, in the movie where the guy's like, no, I want to eat this steak. I know it's not a steak. But
yeah.
But and he goes, ignorance is bliss, right? Because he knows the truth, but he'd rather live in that false reality and think that he's eating a steak than really realizing that he's eating this gray slop. He's floating.
Well, that's what our government does, and people who we think are our leaders aren't our leaders. They're hoping to be the people pulling the strings at some point. But they'll never make it. They'll get thrown under the bus when their usefulness is over with.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's always been my personal opinion that leaders don't say get going. They say let's go. And I don't see any
Right.
I don't see any leaders anywhere. You know, I see a bunch of characters that represent a certain ideology or philosophy that you can put your vote towards or whatever, but it really doesn't mean jack shit in the end, because we were saying earlier on the show that the wheels of the government grind slow and fine. So every single day, everything's happening in the background that we have nothing to do with or any control over, and it's all moving to one place, man, in the end. Because ultimately, in the future, you're not going to be able to exist in this type of future without some sort of positive identification. Because there's almost...
Well, you're going to have to be part of the machine, or you're not going to be fed.
Exactly. And that's what we keep trying to put forward, is that, there's irrespective of how much you scream and cry about it, how much you don't like it, how much it's against your freedoms and all this other stuff, what it's going to be is, if you're not willing or ready to make a decision to move into the future, you won't be able to exist. Because if you don't have the identification, you're not going to be able to enjoy the benefits of society. You'll have to be, living dirty-faced under the overpass or whatever.
Or off the grace of somebody else
that's
willing to share.
Or trading packs of cigarettes for a belt buckle, a leather belt, so you can put your leather belt and boil it in some water. You know what I mean? Isn't that the hobos used to make stone soup? Like they'd sit there. That guy come up and the guy be stirring. He goes stirring a pot. What are you making, man? Stone soup. Stone soup. Yeah. What is it? Well, it's delicious, but I really need a carrot. If only I had a carrot, man, this stone soup would be good. Carrots? Well, shit, I got a carrot right here. Just coming back from the grocery store here. Let me put this carrot in there. Bruce, you ever made stone soup?
That licus that grows on the stones is edible.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. The hobos of the old, when they used to jump trains and there was like a whole hobo thing. That's still coming. That's coming back, man. People are still jumping trains now. The old hobo trails.
I haven't seen a bunch of homeless here like I used to. I think they cracked down on them here.
Yeah, they're sending. We were talking about it earlier. Donald Trump thinks they should build some camps, put the homeless in there,
and the institutions.
Yeah, and the psych wards are coming back.
Well, see, this is when the problem started, is when they let all them psychs out of the wards in the 80s, early 80s.
Mm-hmm.
They were not able to, they were not self-sufficient. They couldn't hold down a job. They couldn't do anything.
Hey, wait a minute.
They were.
I just noticed
they were deemed well enough not to have to be in the system.
I just noticed a correlation. There's a correlation here. Did you notice it? The alternative media started right around that time. That's when all of a sudden they were having these conferences with these videotapes and these cassettes. 864-810-1039. Give us a call. 864-810-1039. Give us a call. Let us know what's going on. Tony, what's going on?
Come on in.
Yeah, come on in. Give us a call. Rock and Rio, are you there? You got anything on your radar?
Man.
Is he gone?
He's snoozed. Oh, he's for sure he's asleep.
Oh, no way. Rock and Rio's not sleeping.
It ain't.
I don't know. It's 2:30 where I am.
He's gone, man. He's gone to dreamland.
Bring out the
Sandman. He's produced.
Bring out the GIMP. You telling me bringing out the GIMP? He's sleeping. Well, I guess
He's bringing out the gimp.
You guess you're gonna have to wake him up now, won't you?
It'd be over.
864-810-1039, 864-810-1039. Give us a call. Anyways, Rock and Rio is apparently Rock and Rio's dead wood at this point. It's a mad painter. It's a mad painter, and
He's close to dead.
He's there, but he's somewhere there in the mist, but I can't tell. I don't know. We only got about 30 minutes left, so in any event.
330 joined.
Oh, there you go, 330.
Hey, Jimmy. How you guys doing tonight? It's Trish from Ohio.
Hey, Trish. What's going on? Good.
Hey, Trish.
Glad you called.
Hey. I just wanted to add to your asylum stories that you were talking about there.
Yeah.
About Trump wanting to bring them back. When I lived down in West Virginia, I lived in Lewis County. And Lewis County has the largest, one of the oldest insane asylums in the United States. And it's massive big. If you look it up, it's Allegheny Insane Asylum is what it's called. And it's privately owned now. And it's kind of a museum, I think, is what they did with it. But it was up and working. And then they closed it down, like you said, like in the 80s. I think it might have been the end of the 70s. But when I went down there, a lot of people that I knew, neighbors and whatnot, they had worked there or possibly been in there. And they told me some crazy stories. And one of the stories that they were telling was when they closed it down, the people, some of them kind of hung around the town there. And they hang out, and they were like homeless. And they do little side jobs during the summertime. But right when it started to get cold, they'd break the law in some little way. They'd steal something, or they'd break into somebody's car or start a fight. So they'd go to jail for a couple weeks or for a couple months over the wintertime. Then they'd get out of jail in the springtime, and that was what they did.
Yeah.
They just were homeless all, during the nice times. They'd sleep out in the woods or wherever, down by the river. And then come winter, they'd get in a fight or do something to go to jail. But there's a lot of creepy stories about that place. It's supposed to be haunted. But
really?
Yeah.
Do you have any stories about the haunted asylum that you know about?
Well, there's one story was there was a ghost, and you'd see this. It was a woman, a young woman, and you would hear her crying. She'd walk through the halls, and she was crying, "I want my baby. I want my baby." And the story is that this young woman didn't have any family. And it is a true story, that she was a young woman. She didn't have any family in town. They had passed away. And she was a beautiful young girl. And she worked for a local man that was a business. I think he was an attorney. And she was his secretary. He was a married man. And, well, one thing led to another. And she found herself, with knocked up, basically. And, she come to him and said, hey, this was like back in the 50s, I believe my neighbor said. And the guy said, what are you talking about? I've never been with you. You must have gone crazy. And so he had her, but she had no family, and he had connections, and they put her in the nut house. And she had her baby in there, and they gave the baby up for adoption, and eventually she wasn't crazy, but she went crazy. And they said she haunts that place. There's been a number of people told me that they saw that girl walking around in there, crying for her baby. Oh, that gives me chills. And then others, that was like a criminally insane ward they had in one section of it. And there was some bad stuff that happened in there, murders that happened in there, like between the patients and stuff. There's a lot of crazy stuff that happened there. Well, it's asylum, so but I mean, those are a couple of stories, and it's
don't
crazy
sound-
looking.
Yeah. Asylums, they get haunted, right? Because I mean, hauntings just happen when people die in a highly agitated emotional state, and you kind of get locked into that, right? So, say an asylum is a
They have a haunted house in there. I would never. My friend wanted to go in. I said I would never. I said, she was, "Oh, you scared of ghosts?" I said, "No, I'm not scared of ghosts, but I'm not going in with crazy ghosts." I said, "That's a whole nother thing. I'm not doing that." That's no. Yeah, it's haunted and it's scary.
How much is gas, fuel over by where you are? How much you guys paying for gas?
I think it was $2.39. $2.49, $2.49.
Wow.
That's for the cheapest. The high test is $4.39.
Wow.
I think.
Well, that's a.
I mean, I could still get. I still get eggs at the farm for $2.
For a dozen?
Yeah.
Wow.
For brown eggs.
Yeah, that's good.
Well,
Yeah.
something like 40% of gas prices are taxes.
Yeah, I know. That's why cigarettes are $15 here, where I am. $15. And then when you go to Colorado, the same cigarettes, like $6. It's crazy, man. That's what I mean. We started the show talking about it being a debtor's prison on Earth. You can't exist without having a job and just doling out your time and trading it for money so that you can use that money so you can exist in the prison. You're set free in the prison, to set up your life and set it up in a way that you can support. Otherwise, but you still got to pay up. You know what I mean? You gotta pay up because you got the debt that you got to pay, whatever that is. We were saying that, hey, what about the original sin? It's like, well, you're born, but you need forgiveness because somebody did something a long time ago that you got to pay for. You don't come in with a clean slate. You're already coming in, on tilt, so to speak, is what they talk about in gambling. Being on tilt.
Yeah, something like $40,000 right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
The day you're born.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They say there's a national debt. What does that mean? That means the government spent a bunch of money and you're on the hook for it and you're a slave and you got to pay your taxes. And, the thing is, the worst part about it is when they talk about taxes, when you hear politicians discussing taxes, you are absolutely never going to hear them talk about the single thing that gets the most money out of the hide of the working person. And that is the single taxpayer. If you can keep people single, you're ripping their head off for like 33 1/3 every paycheck. So like, for example, just to put that in perspective, if you're making $1,000, you're making $700 and $300 going back to the government out of your check, out of your hide. Single taxpayer.
Yeah, and then everything you buy is taxed.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So what it boils down to is you end up with about 20% of your paycheck in the end that isn't taxed, and that's it.
Yeah, and then you got to try
The only planet in the whole universe that you have to pay to live on.
we gotta say there's, it went wrong somewhere. You know what I mean? We shouldn't. I saw this Buddhist, and he was saying that if people aren't taught how to provide for themselves, then they're in poverty. Is that, if if there's wood in the forest, you should be able to build it. You should be able to build a house. You know, if you're sick, you should know which plants and herbs around you are used for healing, and what stuff you could eat. This type of thing. I can't remember that. It was really good. It was a good presentation because he was trying to point out that there's a lot of ways that there's abundance all around people, but they don't see it. They can't see the abundance. I swear, if I didn't know better, I'd think it was raining right now. It almost sounds like it's raining. It's supposed to start raining here pretty soon. But anyways, Santa Cruz Mountains, you know, big trees here. So what do you think about that, Trish?
Well, I think you're right about if you're taught, you can live off the land as much as possible. If you have an old place, like say in West Virginia, the taxes aren't real expensive, but they tax you for a lot of things, like private, personal property,
mm-hmm.
and your vehicle gets taxed every year. But if you had an old farm, you know, have some chickens and goats, and
that sounds like a good
job. I'm sorry?
That sounds like a good idea. I'm going to look into that.
Bruce. Yeah. So,
you got the weather. You got the weather where you're at. You're best off staying where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I won the end times lot every day.
You did. Yeah, that's what it is too. It's like it's musical chairs. You know, wherever you are, that's where you're going to be. You know, there's you know what's interesting was I was listening to Jeff Rentz's show earlier this evening, and right as I was listening to another show, and then his show came on, and I listened to the first 5 minutes of it or whatever before he started getting into some UFO stuff with some guy. But anyways, the point is that he was bringing up his archives, and he was bringing up that some guy that he had on his show back in 2001 who did some mathematical calculation between the Bible and the Mayan calendar. And back in 2001, he predicted the end of the Mayan calendar was Christmas 2023.
Could be.
Well, then now the Mayan calendar was not a prediction of the end of the world. The Mayan calendar was a prediction of the end of a era and the beginning of a new era.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. All I know is I remember back in 2012, you know, what was going on. And I just say, like, if people's idea of the Mayan calendar or the 2012 concept, I mean, if we were to look around ourselves, you know, at this time, people would be running for the bunkers or whatever.
Jimmy,
go ahead, Bruce.
That anonymous dude tried to call in again. Like, I'm 90% sure this is Jacker. Why don't you just let him come in on Skype?
No, it's Robin. It's Robin. For some reason, she can't get in. It's Robin because she
anonymous call. You got to call me on another number. I don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Hey, Robin, I knew you were trying to call in because I saw you ask about the number. I know you want to call in. So, but for some reason, when you call in, he can't answer your call. It says anonymous or something. I'm not real sure why. But
give it. But you don't join the call. I've tried like 8 times now between last Friday and the one time you just called now. So please don't do it anymore. Or just get another number or get Skype.
Sorry, Robin. She used to be able to call in on my number. I don't know why it's happening, but I don't know. But hey, you know, don't piss Bruce off. He's angry. He's an angry young man. He's smoking his vapes now. He's chilling out. Okay, all right. I see the chill coming over him now. All right, he's chilled out. Why don't you know? Well, there's no way you can give us your number and then we could call you. Because it says anonymous. We can't call you back. So you can't give us your number. Anyways, let's keep moving. So Trish, back to what we were saying. So now, here, what do you think of this concept of the debtor's prison? That for some reason we're here, we don't get to just live in the bask in the beauty and of the earth and just live in the abundance. I mean,
Well, no,
why did
because
we
got
go?
kicked out.
Yeah.
No, because Eve screwed up and got us kicked out of the Garden of Eden.
Well, see,
So,
there you go. Eve screwed up. See what I mean? You're coming in.
You gotta pay the penance. Still paying for it.
See, that's what I mean. So it's clear that this is a debtor's prison. That somehow,
Well, yeah.
but the thing is,
I mean,
let me ask you this question, because this is the idea that's been in my mind all day about it, is that somewhere along the way, okay, we have been steered into a direction where money means something. It wasn't just being naked. It was coming to the realization that we were naked. It was also this idea of money. Because without it, we wouldn't be where we are now. If there's some way that society developed where we just came together and did all this stuff. I mean, how did we end up here? Is the only way that we could be now where we are, technologically advanced and all this, only because of money? Because people will make money off of developing something? Like, how else could we survive without the money thing? And the money thing is what is, the love of money is the root of all evil, right?
well, I think that the whole concept of money and all that's our programming. That's our slavery that keeps us running around on the hamster wheel.
That's what I mean.
100%.
There's people in this world that's never worked a day in their life, and they live off the backs of us.
And there's other people that never had money but are happier than anybody that ever had money, or as much money as you can.
And then of course the propaganda. Every single one of us is brainwashed. Even the people that say, "I'm awake, I know what's going on." They've got a program for every single person, okay, that has a different level of intellect or IQ, or whether they're low IQ, high IQ, whatever that case may be. They have a program for us all. When I was young, I watched MTV. I was into labels on clothing and big hair and guys in bands and all kinds of shit. That's just like, so we all have our own programming that gets you. There was people that I grew up with that wasn't their thing. They had something else got their attention.
Yeah.
But that's what money does. It keeps us on that wheel. But there's people like,
that's what I mean.
The Amish. You could say that the Amish community, okay, they still have to use money, okay. They still go to the store and purchase basic items, but they have families.
You know what?
Yeah, hold on a second.
That property, and you know what I'm saying? They stay in their community, and they don't need a whole lot of money. If the roof falls off their house,
somebody's
the
on here
come
with a
over
speaker.
and they all fix it.
Hey,
they have
whoever's
to
on
buy-
here, just mute up. You can't listen and
Video,
be on
Robin,
the phone.
please.
You can't listen and be on the phone. Hey.
There we go.
There we go. Okay. Sorry, Trish. They were talking over
That's
you.
okay.
Yeah,
they got to go buy the materials, but they don't have to. The neighbors come over, the people in their community. It's very similar to like what Bruce lives.
You know what?
Bruce has something should happen down there that, he doesn't hire a construction company. He's got his own guys, his friends, his family. They'll come over and help him put his roof on. He's got to buy the supplies. His wife isn't into, Bruce, I want a new Gucci bag for Christmas. And she probably wants, something like a new chicken bag to feed her chickens with or some shit like that. That's not important to her.
Yeah.
It's just not even, she wouldn't even, he for some reason, someone sent him that. Here, this is for your wife. She just looked at him like, why would you? What? What am I going to do with this? You know, she probably put some. You know, well, I guess I can put my yarn in it or something. I mean, she wouldn't even. It's not even. You know, I mean, it's just, and it's I mean, it just, she's got her own thing that she's doing down there. You know what I mean? What's important to her, what she needs, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not anything with labels or anything with hairspray or anything like that.
What's interesting about the Amish idea is that the not using of this technology, what it does is it makes people's lives fuller for a longer period of time. In other words, the older people, what happens with older people in societies is as technology advances, they start to become left behind by the technology because the further it moves forward that they don't understand it, and then they get to a point where they become useless and they become, you know, lackadaisical. They stay in the house. They start taking, you know, pharmaceuticals and have health problems, where in the Amish community, you know, the plow is a plow and a horse is a horse and a seed is a seed. You know what I mean? A cow is a cow. And it stays that way. And so people work, you know, they stay working because, you know, when a person doesn't have purpose in life, you know, you even see these dudes, man, they're these coal miners going down those coal mines. As fucked up as that was, as shitty as it is, as dangerous as it is that they made it all those years, they survived that shit. The minute they stop working in the coal mine, you know, they start to die because they don't have anything to do anymore. The thing that they did in their life is now no longer possible, and so they don't have a reason to live. So it's, you know,
it's right. That reminds me of that man that, gosh, I wish I could remember his name. He moved to Alaska, and they had a lot of shows about him. Excuse me, on PBS years ago, called Into the Wilderness or something like that. He was a single man. He moved to Alaska and built a house. I don't know if he owned the property or what, but he just built this cabin, and the plane would come in like once every 6 months, and he used to make wooden bowls and different things, carvings, and the plane dropped his mail off. What the heck was his name? He was like, I can't remember his name. They did a program on him, a couple programs on him. He got old, like in his 80s, and they're like, you got to come back to the mainland because, you know, you're not going to make it up here another winter. And I mean, he didn't even make it like 3 to 6 months. He passed away, you know, and he was in good health up until then, but they talked him into coming back to the mainland, or, you know, to where people were.
Did we have another caller, Bruce?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, this is SFT. I was just
Hey,
I texted
SF.
Bruce and he called me back.
Hey, what's happening,
I
Bruce?
didn't try calling. I will tell you that he's showing up as spam on my line, though.
Bruce, you're
I'll take care of
spamming.
that on my end as best I can.
Quit
I'll mark it
I
spamming.
not
thought that
spam.
was Robin. Yeah, sorry about that. But I'm getting a text message here from Robin.
Okay, there you go.
I mean,
Go
this
ahead and
is
get
not-
Robin, and I'll let you go. I'm just eating quesadillas and chocolate cups.
Excelente. Right on.
Talk
Well,
to you later. I'd rather watch it on TV.
yeah.
Thanks.
No worries, man.
Bye.
There he goes, SFT. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you stepping in and helping out. Robin wanted to call in last week, and I don't know if she wanted to get in here. So Robin's a good friend of the show. She called in for many years, even visited with Brandy once. Stopped by and saw Brandy. So, Robin, thanks for trying to put the effort in to give us a call. 864-810-1039, 864-810-1039, give us a call. Rock and Rio has dozed off, and we are now in the last throes of 6 minutes of the show. So now's your chance to come in, and hopefully if Bruce can get a hold of Robin, then we'll go out with Robin coming in here. And there's Pac Woman in the chat. Welcome everybody in the chat. It's got 60 people over there still. 50-something. 50-something. We're still number 8. We've been on the first page as TalkStream Live the whole entire night. Thanks, TalkStream Live. Appreciate it. freeworld.fm, revolution.radio, independent broadcast network, the home of free speech for everybody. Revolution.radio. Come on down, become sport. Go ahead, Bruce. Is Robin there? It almost sounded like she was there.
No, I haven't brought her in. I can't bring her in.
No.
She said she's going to try on Skype. I mean, if she's had Skype all this time, I don't know what the problem's been for 2 weeks.
It's showing a 330 number on here.
Call her up.
No, I think that's Trish from Ohio. Trish, are you 330?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's Trish.
Okay.
312 is the other number. Yeah.
All right, well, we'll see what happens. 864-810-1039 or Robin on Skype. I don't know how you're going to get her Skype contact, but I'm unsearchable on Skype. So you will not be able to find me there on Skype. 864-810-1039. Give us a call. So anyways, we're heading out tomorrow night, Saturday night, behind the blue rope over there. We'll be on YouTube and Independent Broadcast Network, 7 o'clock Pacific. Rock and Rio, myself. Bruce, if he wants to join. Epic Journeyman, if he's not working. Epic Journeyman's on double time right now. He's 30 feet in the hole. God bless him. You know, he's out there in his shorts. I know he's on the islands. I know how bad could it be. That's what you're saying. But just imagine you're out there. Well, one thing you don't got to worry about over there, Ahmad, is snakes. For some reason, no one has let a snake out over there. There's never been a snake. There's no snakes. I don't know how.
Got plenty of them here.
Yeah, I know. And a lot of them are poisonous where you are. But those water moccasins and all that.
Now they kill more people than any other snake in the U.S.
Is that right?
Let's join, Jimmy. 703.
703. Come on in.
Hi, this is Incognito.
Oh, hey, Incognito.
I have a couple things for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Number one, I think we were all born free. I think the Bible, and I mean this in the gentle and kindest way, is a groupthink. I think that's why it's the number one selling book in the world. I think it's all to hurt us. I think.
Do you think because
the system is set up to spiritually bankrupt us? At the end of this life, when there's a judgment, we are found guilty automatically because we believe something that we could never prove.
I see what you're saying, and I think you're saying what I was asking earlier, which was if we're born under these conditions of this idea that there's some sin that has taken place and that when we come here we need forgiveness, it feels like there's a debt that has to be paid, and I think there's been some way of hijacking civilization into this way of thinking to where
it's called a groupthink.
Exactly. There you
and
go.
I think that's what we're all living through right now. And I'm not sure Eve did what they claim she did. I mean, for all I know and everything I see today, Adam's the guilty party, buddy.
Yeah, you never know. That's the thing. Is everything
And I'm going to tell you something. This is how I feel. And the Bible means a lot to me, but I don't use it as an idol. And I think that's what it was set up for. Just like if you read the story about Moses when they denied God because they wanted a king and they couldn't see the king, so they made a brazen pole and they raised up a snake on a brazen pole because they had to believe in something they could see. And I'm going to tell you something, honestly, and I mean this in the gentlest way possible. Just because there's an empty tomb doesn't mean the man was raised up. The man lives within us, not in an empty tomb.
Wow.
Did I lose you?
No, I was just
Are you praying?
I'm just considering what you were saying and looking at the clock and realizing that we are coming up at the very end of the show. And I
Don't do that.
No, I'm dead.
Hang on for a few.
Well, yeah, it's coming up here, right here. It's the top of the hour here. It's
Well, I'd like to hear your and Bruce's input on that.
All right. Well, we can probably potentially stay on a little longer. Okay, stand by. We can stay on a little bit longer here, even though the show will not end on Revolution Radio or YouTube or the Independent Broadcast Network. We'll just drop off of TalkStream Live. So it's Into the Microcosm. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you spending your borrowed time with us. We know time is a valuable and precious resource, and it's not unlimited. You only have so much of it. And, there we go. We're gone.
And mine has reached the end. I'm going to bed.
All right, brother. Thank you so much, Ahmad, for joining us.
Thanks for taking my call.
We really
Y'all have a good night.
We really appreciate you, man. Thank you very much for everything you do. There he goes, a mad painter. We're here with
my pleasure.
We're here with Bruce McDonald. We're here with Trish from Ohio and Incognito. What was your name again?
Incognito.
Okay, Incognito. Stay tuned.
I'm a spy in the house of love. I know the dream that you're dreaming of. I know the word that you long to hear.
All right. There we go. So we're still here live on Revolution.radio and the Independent Broadcast Network. I'm just letting you guys know, man, I need to go eat dinner. And I've been up since 5 a.m., so I was planning on... So Bruce, Incognito, asked the questions. What do you think? You want to restate the question again? Incognito, just to reiterate the question.
Sure, I think it's really more of a statement. I think we were all born free. I think the Bible is a great book, and I think it's a groupthink, and I think it's to herd the masses. And I think it makes us all guilty before we even knew we were guilty. I'm not sure Eve was the one that committed the only sin, if you know what I mean. And I think that we tend to believe only in things that we can see, and our eyes deceive us.
There's a lot in there, so let me just... I really don't like people who...
You're breaking up, dude. Turn off your video, cause you're like completely disintegrating away. Do something, cause I don't know if it's your bandwidth or whatever.
This is getting ridiculous, man.
Still the same. Man, it's still the same. Incognito.
Yes.
Can you call us tomorrow night on the show? We're going to be doing a show tomorrow night at 7 o'clock Pacific.
Yeah, can I give you one more tip? It's
Sure.
in regards to your Sunday show
Sure.
and what you've been doing about the music.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the videos on YouTube that are called Tales from the Tour Bus?
No.
Oh, you've got to go check those out.
Okay, I will.
Those are great.
I
Those
will.
are great. They're animated, and they're all the tales, the back tales of what these bands and how they're connected. And some of the craziest ones are some of the country stories about who stole Patty Klein's car. And
wow.
and Rick James and Prince and their little fights and their little ego trips and
Oh, wow.
all the shit that they got into.
Crazy.
You got to see it.
Well, I'll check it out for sure. Well, listen, do me a
Yeah,
favor.
I'll call you tomorrow night.
Yeah,
Same number?
Okay, yeah, same number tomorrow night. We'll be on.
And Bruce, please don't judge me for what I said.
No
I'm
one's-
just
yeah,
living
no
from
one's-
my heart, man.
No, this ain't no.
And I'm telling you,
it's
I'm
no
not sure
judgment.
that I believe everything I see.
It's no judgment.
I only believe what I feel.
No judgment.
Yeah, I never really got a chance
Yeah, Bruce.
in my answer.
She's gonna call back tomorrow night. So tune in tomorrow
Yeah.
night. We'll be back, and then we'll get these sound issues squared away, so that way people can hear what you're saying. Because you're breaking up, man. You're breaking up. All right.
Have a good night.
All right. Thanks.
Have a great dinner.
You too. All right, Incognito. Thanks for calling. All right.
Bye.
All right, Bruce. Everybody, time for us to exit stage left.
Good night, guys.
Good night. Oh, I didn't know you were still there, Trish. Trish, thanks for calling. Give us a call tomorrow. Yeah, give us a call tomorrow night because I'm sure you wanted to you had something you wanted to say to that too. I didn't know you were still there. Okay, great.
Nah, that's okay.
Okay, call in tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Good night. Thanks for being here, everybody.
long now tonight.